All right. Hello, everyone. How's everyone doing? Hope you're having a good Monday. It's been a hot minute since the last stream. We have a lot of things to go over today. This is actually be a very busy stream. Thanks for the game. Thanks. I'm glad you enjoy it. So this is I am Fizzer. I am the creator of a game called Warzone. I'm sure you all know what that is. Otherwise, you probably wouldn't be here. I'm going to be going over questions that you guys asked today. I'm going to be going over a few other things. So we're going to go over what we're going to go over. But as the stream goes on, I'm going to answer questions from chat. I don't know, what order should I do things? I guess we should go over the agenda first. I have prepared an agenda. This is the first time we've ever done this. This is the first time we've actually had an agenda for a stream prepared so nicely in this untitled notepad. You can tell I put a lot of work into this. So we're going to go over the 5.26.0 update. That was the update from like a month or so ago because I didn't do a stream for that one because it was kind of, you'll see. And then we're going to go over the 5.26.1 update. That was yesterday's update. So that's hot off the press. I don't know what I was saying. We're going to be going over user voice. Oh yeah, we got some exciting stuff to talk about in user voice. And we're going to be going over Clan Wars. Anyone want to go over Clan Wars? Anyone hear Clan War? Let's see. So let's see what's going on in chat. So how's everyone doing? Hope you all having a good Monday. Clan Wars, what changes are planned? Yeah, we're going to be going over that. Would you consider templates like Cabix 2.2? I don't know that template. One thing I could say we're not going over in Clan Wars is new templates. So I can answer this right now. New templates is something that I definitely feel like Clan Wars does need, but how would we choose new templates? Last time we did it by voting. At some point, we do need to talk about new templates for Clan Wars, but that wasn't something that was on the agenda for today. We're going to talk about different Clan Wars stuff. Are there preparations you make for the stream while you are already live? Yes, I have a whole list. I have to set the title and plug my headphones in and make sure the mic is unmuted. Make sure I'm recording. I have a whole checklist that I go through because I've made mistakes in the past. And every time I make a mistake, I add it to my checklist. Light theme should be changed to dark theme. I think I was on dark theme at one point, but I don't know. If you guys could let me know if the audio levels are good, because I have changed my setup a little bit since the last stream. Will the VOD for this be available after the stream? Yes, I am recording it, and I will upload it to YouTube, as I do for most of the streams. My friend got me into Warzone a year ago. It's consumed my life ever since. Did you know you're making such a great game when you started Warzone? When I first started it, it was not a great game. It was nothing. And then it slowly became a great game. So I'm glad you enjoy it. Thanks for popping in. And I'm glad you enjoy the game. Audio sounds good. Great. Cool. So first I want to give a little background just because I know some people don't watch every stream. I mean, it's been a long time since the last stream. But so I'm Fizzer. I created this game way back in 2008. And I created it initially just to play with my friends. And I never thought it would become my full-time job or anything. And then after working on it for about 3 years, I decided to quit my job. And it's become my full-time job ever since. And I am very happy doing this. I hope to continue making this game the rest of my life. Please mute the music. It is noise that makes you hard to hear. I did some sound tests before and I didn't found it was hard to hear, but now the music paused. But if other people feel that way, please let me know. Love the game. I've already convinced my friends to play internal games with them. 20 plus people. Wow. Many of them are also willing to play rank with as a level barrier. I'd like to lower it. But fail at the level barrier? I don't know what you mean by the level barrier, but I'm glad you enjoyed the game. Thanks for your kind words. I have nice coins. Don't lick my coins. That's nothing. Okay. All right. So we're going to talk about, let's go to the blog. Let's talk about updates first. So since the last stream, there's been 2 updates. So the big update was 5.26.0. This was a new rendering engine. So this is focused right now on the website, although that's not the only goal of this rendering engine. So this is what the game looks like today if you play on the web. And if you play on there's this new checkbox called 3D mode. If you check that, you get a whole new rendering engine. And so what this is using a framework called Babylon.js. I think you need level 60 to join the ladder kind of high. Yeah, you're right. The ladder is designed to be a thing for experienced players. I don't think it's quite 60, but I can't remember what it is. I think the ladders unlock at different levels. I think one of them unlocks in the 40s. I think the first one does. But yeah, the ladder is designed for people that have been playing for a while. Honestly, that's because most people that join the ladder get destroyed. They get a lot of people think they're good at the game, and then they join the ladder, and then like, oh crap, I was not as good as I thought I was. So you want people to have experience before they join the ladder. It's kind of the highest level of, it's kind of the major leagues of, at least for the officially offered Warzone features. There are community events that are even considered in higher regard, but as far as the official Warzone features, the ladders are kind of the toughest place. But anyway, new rendering engine. So basically, this code that you're seeing right here that runs this engine is the exact same code that runs the mobile app, the Unity app, the iOS and Android app that is available in the standalone app. So the cool thing about this, and the biggest benefit of doing this, is we now have one code base that services all platforms. Whereas before, this is like a handwritten HTML and JavaScript rendering engine that renders the map. So having one engine that renders everything is kind of the goal of this project, because it allows me to only have to add features once. You have one set of code that just runs everywhere. And was it a lot of rewriting of code? Yes. So the code before was basically tied to Unity, and now it is an abstraction layer that can run in any rendering engine. So we have like an abstraction level that can run in Unity, and it can run in Babylon.js. And doing that was a lot more work than I thought it was going to be. I thought I was going to be able to complete this project in like 2 months. It ended up taking, like 3 or 4 times that, which is, this project kind of kicked my ass, to be honest. It was a lot harder than I thought it would be. A lot of the reason it was hard was because there were a lot of things Unity was doing for me that I didn't understand it was doing for me. So when I set out to code, so Unity is a very heavyweight game engine, whereas Babylon.js is very lightweight. And so there's a lot of things that I had to understand how Unity was doing it for me, particularly around things like shaders and stuff, so that I could recreate that in a lighter weight game engine. The good news is that's done now. So we have like a cool abstraction layer that means we could adopt pretty much any engine with relative ease. So we're not limited just to Unity and Babylon. We can basically go anywhere. So this is a big investment in Warzone's future, because it now means that we can go to any rendering engine in the future with ease. I wish I would have shared my 2 versus 2 level. I can carry my 8s. I've played a couple years now, and it's still not as good as those ladders. Yeah, the ladders are rough. Everyone gets destroyed in the ladders. 3D looks very cool. Good, I'm glad you enjoy it. Does this mean that the 2D maps will one day eventually be unavailable to play on? I have no plans to do that at this time. But ever is a long time, so I can't comment on whether that will ever happen. But certainly in foreseeable future, the 2D version will stay available. The 3D version is very new. It's not going to take over the world in any sort of speed, but it's now available for playing with, toying with. There's already a few problems. I don't know if you guys can see. There's just like a line that goes straight through here. That's a bug. I need to fix that. I have that on my list. There's like a seam in the background right there, and that seam exists in the Unity app too, but it's not visible, which it's not supposed to be visible. But yeah, anyway, there are things that need to be fixed and improved upon it, but it does fundamentally work. Like, you can play the game this way, and it does work quite nice in my opinion. So if you guys try it, let me know what you think. But yeah, it's a long-term thing. It's going to be a while before it is fully fleshed out. I do think it'll eventually be the default. Music is kind of loud now, yeah. It's one of the problems with this soundtrack I have, which is they're not consistent. I didn't know you were the creator. Indeed. So this update took way too long, but ultimately it's done now. So we're going to be getting back to more regular updates here. We have a lot of things planned. a lot of things. We actually have an agenda we're going to be talking through. Some of the things that are coming in the future. So I do apologize for the long delay between Warzone updates as a result of this whole rendering engine thing. If I had known this rendering engine thing was going to take as long as it did, I probably wouldn't have done it. But that's just hindsight is 2020. But it's done now, so that's good. There's a whole bunch of bug fixes in this update. I don't think it's worth going through all of these. Some of these things were kind of things people were asking for, like if you try to sacrifice an artifact that's currently being upgraded, the game now asks for confirmation that you're sure you really want to do that. That's something that people always asked for. But a lot of these are just bug fixes. My general philosophy when prioritizing Warzone features is bug fixes are always a priority. So anytime there's a bug, I will always prioritize that against new features. That's why, and because the rendering engine update took so long, there's a lot of bug fixes in this update, just because things that people report to me. Yeah, I don't know if there's anything in here. Hopefully you guys have already noticed some of these bug fixes. Why are you still using the old Imperial Romulan when Lionheart made a new, better looking one? This is Quick Match. Quick Match templates are voted in by the community. So this is not a template I picked. This is a template the community voted on. So if you want to swap this map out for another map, the process of doing that is first you have to make the new template. Then you have to upload that template to Quick Match. Anyone that has votes unlocked in Quick Match can do that. And then you have to get people to move their votes over. And if you get everyone to move their votes over, it will automatically update. I really like the distribution mode. No longer gets reset. Glad to see many of the bugs were fixed in the last two updates. Thanks. Glad you enjoy it. I think that was that one you reported to me? I can't remember. But yeah, somebody, when changing the map of a template set to full distribution, random worlds, random cities, the distribution will no longer be reset to the map's default distribution mode. Just a little thing. When you're creating a game, you can set the distribution mode of one of these three. And then map makers also have the option of setting their own default distribution mode on a map. Like when you make a map, you can come in here to distributions and you can be like, oh, I want this one to be the default. And previously, anytime you change the map, it would always reset to the map creator's default. Even if you as the game creator said, oh, I want full distribution. And then you switch the map and you're like, what? What happened? I set full distribution. Why did it change? Now it actually respects the game creator setting. That's all that is. Just a little thing. I only mentioned it because JK brought it up. But incomplete cards have a small border. Yeah. So there's all sorts of bugs and little things here. Sped up force auto join for games with low boot times. This was something that comes up in Quick Match. So there's a rare situation that comes up in Quick Match where if somebody doesn't get their color, and if they don't have an alternate color set, then the game will actually go to the lobby for like, it used to be like, I think 3 minutes, and now it's 1 minute. It gives them a chance to choose their color, which it shouldn't take more than 1 minute to choose your color. If you don't choose your color, it will automatically pick a color for you. But people were very confused when they ended up in the lobby in the Quick Match, and they were like, what's going on? Some people would just close the game and leave, and then they'd get confused when they came back and found they were booted. You should never close a real-time game. Could we please expand Quick Match to more than 40 templates? No downside. Yeah, I mean, the only downside is overwhelming people, but I get that's not too big of a deal because they unlock slowly over time. So yeah, I think that's a reasonable request. Cabix 2.2 now has the 5th most votes in Quick Match. Try it? Oh, I should try it. I have my Quick Match set to not automatically include new templates. 2, 3, 4, 5. Looks like Strategic 1v1 has the... No, wait. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Strategic 2v2 has the 5th most votes. Cabix. Oh, it's way down here. Try it out for a multi-day. Voting. Where's the votes? It does have... Wait. Yeah, I'm confused. These are the fixed ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It does have the fifth most votes. Oh, I guess the templates page is not sorted in order. I thought it was. What order does this page use? I would like to ask if Advanced Autoconquer considers maximizing Joint Strike advancement? Yes, it does. The advanced one does, the normal one does not. It seems to me that it does not and wastes a lot of armies by needlessly capturing territories that's only one border with and making. So it's not the only thing it considers. It considers a lot of factors, but that it has like a weighting algorithm where it considers a bunch of factors like how badly it wants the territory and whether it's a joint strike or not. You were not voting, switch to voting, you're right. Can clans have more than 40 members? No, currently new clans are limited to 40 members. Technically 41, but yeah. Time to sort a feature in templates by votes, etc. Does it also take into account big army cash bonuses? Yes, it does. You missed the real-time ladder. Wow. I didn't expect anyone to say that. I thought the real-time ladder was really bad. It was very poorly done in my opinion. You think you're based on your rating of them? Based on like your performance rating. I feel like I've managed to take over for Advanced Autoconquer a lot because it fails to get the big caches. Yeah, so Advanced Autoconquer, both the Autoconquers by design are never going to be as good as a human. Thanks again for fixing that nested tables issue on browser. You're welcome. That's a modding bug. Yeah, so a whole bunch of bugs. I'm not going to go over all these bug fixes. Deleted accounts are now removed from the clan that they were in. Before, it would just like leave you in your clan, and the clan creator had to kick out deleted accounts. I don't know why people delete their account, honestly. You should probably never delete your account. The only reason delete count exists is because Apple requires it. They will kick apps off the iOS App Store if you don't have a delete feature. Regarding idle, can you comment on how many users have syncing bugs with artifacts? I'm the guy who lost his hospital boost artifact twice in exchange for other random artifacts, causing me to end up with double instances. Yeah, so if you try to run the app twice in two different devices at the same time, it will cause data loss. And I think you were the person that insisted on doing it even after I told you not to do it, and then you keep complaining why you keep getting data loss. I understand. I was wondering if I'm the only one. You're not the only one, but I think you're the only person that ever continued doing it after I told you not to. If you're the one I remember what I'm thinking of. If there's no competitive real-time possibility, quick match with ladders are much more competitive. If there's no competitive real-time possibility, just quick match. But ladders are much more competitive. True. I mean, quick match is pretty competitive at the high end. Music is super annoying. Does anyone else find the music super annoying? It keeps getting louder. Really? It's so quiet in my ear. I don't know. It's weird. You did it twice, yes. Fix a bug that made the arrows on the map not fade out properly. This has always been annoying me when I play on Android. When the arrows fade out on the map, they kind of like blink. They're not supposed to blink. That's fixed. But it's fixed in the code, and the Android app isn't out yet. So I'm gonna, soon after this, I will be exporting the Android app to the App Store. I'm having some problems with it right now. There's some bugs I have to fix. So it's going to take a little bit longer than normal, but it's because I upgraded the version of Unity, and there's a bunch of stuff that it broke. I might have to go back to the old version of Unity for the Android update. We'll see. A dedicated sync save to cloud button for desktop would be appreciated. So there is, if you look on the Android app, or the Android or iOS app, if you click the top right button, there's a sync button. On browser, it's a little bit hidden. It's only available by hotkey. It's Control-Shift-G. Control-Alt-G, excuse me. JK has you covered right there. This is the first year to have a Warzone membership. I love it. Great job, Fizzer. Great. Glad you enjoy it. Thanks for supporting the game. I haven't run into this artifact. It should reduce swap between desktop and mobile. As long as you don't have them open at the same time, you should not have sync issues. And I think there's a little pop-up in the game now. It didn't used to exist, but now there's a pop-up that tells you have to click like a button that says, I closed it elsewhere. You want a button for the hotkey? Yeah, we could potentially add that. See, like my theory is the hotkey shouldn't be necessary. As long as you're closing the game out fully on other browsers, you shouldn't need the hotkey, which is why it's a hotkey and not a physical button. But there are some times where you do need the button, like if you buy something. There's weird situations where, like, if you buy something in the mobile app and then you want to see it on your desktop, I guess you'd have to use the hotkey for it to show up. Just wondering what happened to the lawsuit I donated a couple years ago. It is still going, unfortunately, and it is taking a very long time. Really, we haven't even entered the discovery phase of the lawsuit yet, and yet it's been like almost 3 years. It's kind of ridiculous. 3-year summary of the lawsuit is Activision tried to get it dismissed. They filed a motion to dismiss, which they initially won. The judge is like, they're trying to use this loophole in trademark law that says if you call your product art, then you can violate other people's trademarks. And they tried to play that card, and the judge is like, "Yep, looks good." And then we had to appeal, but then we won the appeal, and so then it got kicked back down to the trial, and so we're back to the point we were before Activision filed the motion to dismiss. That's the 3-year history of the lawsuit. And it was a big deal to win an appeal, because most of the time when you appeal something, you don't win. So it's going well, but it is taking a long time. Thanks for sharing. I use both platforms. Only been playing a few weeks, but I am hooked. A ridiculous amount of more fun added since I played as a kid a few decades ago now. Cheers and thanks. I'm glad you enjoy it. Talking about decades, man, that's crazy. Oh, played Risk decades ago. Okay, good. You haven't been playing Warzone for decades. Why does Fizzer have the voice of a Dom Daddy mixed with a young Foreman Friedman? Yes. Why would the app need a button and not the website then? It's really just because you can't use a hotkey on the app. So you kind of have to have a button. Do you have stats on whether or not there are more free players on the ladders now versus before the overhaul? I don't have those stats handy, but I believe there are a lot more. I bet somebody in the community has those stats. I could write a query, but it wouldn't be easy to write. I'd have to. Please give a shout out to our friend who just joined a few days ago. Hello, Alex's friend. He called me on, so he's so bad at it though. He used to be good at stuff, but he just seems so bad now. I don't think he understands chapters. Give him a bit of a pep talk for you, please. Yeah, you can do it. Just practice. You'll be fine. Hotkey for sync is very useful even if not playing on multiple platforms. It would be great to have a button for it. For example, as a user playing only in browser and nowhere else, you can get a clan request fulfilled. You're right, that's a good point. You not want to wait minutes to get that fulfilled request synced. Yeah. Okay, you guys have convinced me. I will add it to my list. Where's my next update? Okay. Okay, so we have finished talking about the 5.26 update. I don't think there's anything else in here I really need to call out. Oh, another thing is with this new rendering engine, which I closed, but you saw it earlier. One of the things I eventually want to allow is for people to use it from their mobile device without the app installed. This is something I know there's people out there that prefer to not install the Warzone app for some reason. They still want to play Warzone from their phone, but they don't want to install the app for some reason. And today, that isn't really a supported way of playing. Some people try to do it, but it really doesn't work well with the HTML rendering engine that's built into the game today. But the good news is that this new rendering engine, the one that's basically running the same code as the mobile app, it does support mobile. So like multi-touch doesn't work in the other one. Multi-touch works fine in this one. So you can like zoom and stuff properly, and you can tap things properly, and everything should just work. And I've tested it and it actually works pretty well. Although it's not quite enabled yet. It's not fully enabled because like if you go to this page with your mobile app, it's still going to kick you out. There is a way to make it work if you turn on your request desktop site feature of your mobile browser. But so if you really want to test it, you can, but it's not officially supported yet. But it is something I'm working towards Because some people, for some reason, just really want to play from their phone, but they don't want to install the app. So it's my opinion you should be able to play however you want, and if I can make it work, then it should work in the future. So this new rendering engine is a big step towards making that work. Does Twitch have a pop-out chat? Yes, that is what I'm using here. This is the pop-out chat. Just started a few days before the UI changed. It seems a bit fuzzy momentarily when I zoom in and out on PC. It was nicer before. You're talking about the new rendering engine on desktop? Not sure if that's what you're talking about. Yes, you are. Okay. Yeah, I've heard some people say it's fuzzy. I don't know. Does this look fuzzy to you on stream? When you zoom in, it's fine, but when you zoom out, it might be like the interlacing of these numbers. Is it just the army numbers that look fuzzy, or is it the map or something else? It does look fuzzy. Yeah, I can kind of see what you're talking about. I can like zoom in, take a screenshot, print screen, close my old screenshots. If I like zoom in, and let me compare that to the 2D version. Yeah, I can kind of see what you're talking about. So this is the 2D version, 3D version? Maybe. I mean, it's at an angle, so it looks a little different. I don't know. Is that fuzzier? This is 3D, 2D? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe the lines? The lines are definitely fuzzier. Maybe that's what you're seeing. It's like more anti-aliased or something. I might be able to find a way to improve that. Text is low quality, readable but not clear. I'll make a note to look into it. Try to email you a video at some point if you're interested. Sure. Show me a video. I'd like to see what you're talking about. Okay. So that's 5.26. Now let's talk about 5.26.1. So this is the new update that just came out yesterday. So this update is live on the website and on the standalone app, but it's not yet live on the iPhone and Android. Love the classic Risk game. Thank you. Small convenience request. Allow setting default color for each AI in a single player custom game. So you can do that in community levels, but not custom game. First, thanks for your kind words. I'm glad you enjoy the game. If you do want to play, if you're just playing for yourself, you can actually do that if you go to My Levels. So if you go to My Levels and you come in here, change players, edit the AI, you can actually set what color each AI will be. You can be like, oh, I want this AI to be lime, and then you click OK, and then that AI is lime. So that might be a way you can do what you're trying to do. That only works. Also, that only works if you're using a custom scenario. Unfortunately, if you're not using a custom scenario, you can't do that. This button right here, custom scenario. And the reason that is because the colors are saved by the scenario. Like this AI is B, that's why he has color. You can also do a bunch of fun things, like you can set what cards they start with and stuff like that. This is all part of the level system that doesn't exist. That system doesn't exist in custom games because custom games kind of uses the same engine that multiplayer uses. And those features for like giving out extra cards and stuff don't exist in multiplayer. Could it be possible to support a bonus in a map with a name not using any number or Latin alphabet characters with a bonus link called bonuslink_escape? I have not tried that. I don't know. Unless I try that, I don't know. I remember that it filters out the numbers and non-Latin characters in the bonus link, mostly because I think it didn't work otherwise. I don't remember exactly why it does that, but I don't know if this is possible. If it's not possible, you can create a feature request to make it possible. It used to be possible. You removed it a few years ago. Really, I have no memory of that. It might have been inadvertent. You should send me a bug report with that if you showing me what how it used to work and how it works now. Let's talk about bug reports. So on every page, there's a contact link. And there is a report bug page. If you click report bug, there's a little form here you can fill out and submit. If you run into a bug in the game, you can fill this out and it will go straight to me. You love the finish versus AI feature. Any chance you could add a feature where we can finish it from a turn before the final turn? I've never heard that request before. It's currently not possible, but again, you can request this on user voice. We're going to talk about user voice later on in the stream. But user voice is the current way of submitting feature requests. But yeah, we're going to be talking about user voice later on in the stream. Which, geez, why does user voice still have this broken layout? This has been this way for years, and for some reason, they still haven't fixed it. But we're going to be talking about user voice later on in the stream, so you might want to wait for that section before you submit new features. Quick thought, could mods interact with map code? For example, change the color of a component. Currently, the map is like a fixed object that doesn't get changed. But it's possible that, like, so you can, like, the way overridden bonuses work. Where are they? Armies. So you can, like, override bonuses. This data is stored in the game structure, but then it overwrites the data stored in the map. So you could do something like, the only way of changing a map something would be using an overwrite system like this. You can't directly reach into the map object and change it because that's like a fixed object that exists across all games that use that map. But yeah, currently the game cannot do that, but I think it'd be a cool feature. Can be made possible to order the players in game. Currently it sorts them by their state, like if they're eliminated or booted, that puts them at the bottom. You're talking about in the bottom right corner, I assume. Do I not have a game open? I'm talking about the bottom right corner where it lists all the players in a game. Down here. Currently it like orders all the booted. You can see all the booted players down here at the bottom. And then it puts the rest of the order. I don't remember exactly how it sorts these, but apparently it has the best people on top. Yeah, that's what it does. In this map, oops, open the wrong browser. In this map, there's a bonus called dash dot 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 dash 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 space dash dot space dot dot dash space dot dot dot. When I try to make a new version of it, it says cannot be changed because one or more issues. The bonus does not have any ASCII characters and therefore can't be made into a bonus link. Please rename the bonus and add a bonus link for it. Oh, it worked before because it was the only one? Is that the issue? I think it would work fine as long as there's only one bonus that doesn't have any ASCII characters. Is that what you're running into? You can make a mod plus map that interact with each other. Have a soccer mod plus map that changes the color of the stadium. That would be cool. You said this earlier about built for multi-platform now. Do you need to do any more manual changes for it to work in a web browser as opposed to an app? Does that do it for you? Makes me wonder what your base version looks like. Was it done for desktop originally or the mobile app from the start? So it was originally a web app, and it is already a web app. Do you do any more manual changes to work in a web browser as opposed to an app? So it already works in a web browser. In fact, the game was originally made for web browsers. It was always web browser first. And then when the iPhone and Android App Store thing came out way back in, 2010, I started working on an app version of it. So yes, it's already in both. And it's pretty much always been in both. Kent finds the style setting to enable setting for AI color. Where is it again? So you have to go into My Levels. It has to be a level, not a scenario. And you have to use custom scenario. Just come in here, check the custom scenario button. And then you go to change players. And then next to each player, there'll be an edit button. Next to each, you can even set No, you can't set your color. That wouldn't make sense. It's going to use your color, the color of the player. That's the message I get when I create a dupe that's identical to the current version and try to change testing mode. Yeah, I understand that. It's just in this map, is there only one bonus that has no ASCII characters? Is that what you're trying to do? There's only one bonus without ASCII characters. Yeah. So I think I understand what happened then. I basically added the check because it wouldn't work if you had more than one. But in theory, if you only had one, it would probably be fine. Have you already responded to the question ideas at this thread? No. Usually I just save that for the end. I'll probably do that at the end. Maybe I'll do it in the middle. But certainly not going to do it at the start. Where did you click to get that page to go to style? Distribution mode is how you get to this. And then change players is how you get to this. Not going over the thread. Awesome. Only update changes. Okay. So, auto artifact swapper. So, for a long time in Warzone idle, I couldn't figure out how to handle the artifact issue. I'm actually going to turn ads off. I turned ads on for testing because the Project Babylon didn't work with ads for a while. It had problems. So I was like playing with ads. Crap. Yeah. Oh, if I cancel it, just kicks me out. Why did the Corden Leader Awards drop when Idle came out? They added Idle rewards, I believe. Where are my artifacts? Oh yeah, this one. So artifacts. One of the things that I didn't like about the design of Warzone Idle, and I always hated this, was the idea of having to constantly come in here and swap artifacts to like maximize their effect. You'd be like, oh, now I want to sell some ore, let's put in ore values. Now I want to sell an item, let's put in item values. It was really annoying. And I tried, longtime players will know that I tried to fix this earlier, and I proposed something and everyone got really, really mad. So I kind of just dropped it, left it in a bad state, and I kind of realized that there was a good opportunity to fix this just to have something automatically do it for you. Originally it was going to be like, oh, you can only swap like once every hour or something like that, or once you swap it's like locked in for a certain number of hours or amount of time or something like that. But I decided I didn't like any of those features, so I basically have the auto artifact swapper, and the way it works is if you have a passive artifact, like reduce the cost of upgrading your army camps, you can, and I don't actually have the artifact swapper enabled for my account. Shoot, let me enable it for myself real fast so I can actually show. Just a second. Basically, whenever you go to upgrade an army camp, it'll automatically swap it in. That's all it's going to be. But I will show it for myself here. Just a second. Boom, boom. Enable this. Come on. Save. Okay. Let's do this, and then let's refresh. Artifact Swapper is a great feature. Great, I'm glad you enjoy it. Just so you know, say the UI looks almost like the 90s shareware Star Trek simulator or something. Oh, thank you. I haven't played the Star Trek simulator, but it's great. I love Star Trek. Especially when the team choosing page gets awesome. Though it looks great. So sorry, when you click distribution mode, I don't see a style option. You want to click custom scenario. Yeah, artifacts are a bit weird for me. I choose some, and I know if I start a level, I should change the artifacts throughout, pretend to not bother. Exactly. I always tend to not bother as well. That's why the auto swapper. So the auto swapper was just launched yesterday. It currently only exists on the web version and on the standalone apps. It will be coming to the mobile apps here in the next week or two. Are you using the website or classic app? Is there a reason why the buy button for auto swap doesn't show up for everyone? So it only shows up if you own the super camp. It's kind of designed as a progression. Like you buy the super camp, the game will like pop. It has what I call the nag when you first launch the game. If it launches, it tells you, it nags you to buy the super camp. Once you've done that, if you have like 6 passive artifacts, also you have to have a certain number of passive artifacts. If you have very few passive artifacts, it'll also not show up. But if you have the super camp and you have enough passive artifacts, then it will pop up. Although it's not popping up right now because we have the Father's Day bundle, which, man, I hate this image. I need to fix that. It looks so bad. But we have the Father's Day bundle, but once the Father's Day bundle is gone, then it will actually pop up the auto artifact swapper, like once every other day or something like that. Why is the bottom pad so wide, taking up half or not enough of the screen? Really, it's because it's designed for mobile. If you try to put too much stuff horizontally here, somebody that's on a portrait mode phone is not going to be able to see it. So it's just going to, like, you can't use all the space. I want to see all my hospitals at once, and I can't. There are too many. Oh, you're talking about vertical speed, distance. Yeah, it's designed so that, where are hospitals? It's designed so you can... It's designed for mobile, so it pops up and takes up approximately half of your screen. But yeah, I can see why it's annoying, and I agree it's not the perfect design. Sorry about that. After accidentally purchasing an artifact, I now hide 90% of my coins in a coin block game that I play versus Rafflebot. This blocks me from accidentally dropping 5,000 coins on a legendary artifact. If you try to... Oh, that's true. Yeah, you're right. Could you create something reserved coin storage area like a coin bank or something that would make it different from your active usable wallet? Potentially. I think your solution is pretty good. As long as... I'm the only one that has access to the Rafflebot account, so I could technically go in there and accept your request, but no, I won't do that. Yeah, it's a pretty good solution, actually. I think your solution is great. You should make the tab to the side so you have a decent overview of army camps, hospitals, mines. Yeah, the problem is just most people play in a portrait mode on a phone. So you have very limited horizontal space, but you have a lot of vertical space. So that's kind of why it's designed like that. If you're updating things quicker than Google, it seems. Has it been like that since the start? So great to make the maker so engaged. Thanks, I'm glad you enjoyed it. I don't know what you mean by quicker than Google it, but I'm glad you enjoy it. Thanks for the compliment. Move it to the side on desktop. Yeah, certainly. So there's a lot. This kind of applies to both Warzone Idle and Warzone Classic. There's a lot of UI improvements you can make if you're willing to make a different UI for each app. The problem is that's just a heck of a lot of work because then you have to maintain two different UIs. So as much as possible, I try to design one UI that works on both platforms just because it's very time consuming to make two different UIs and maintain them separately. And it's tough because most people play on mobile, so it's hard to devote a lot of time to something that will only benefit web users. And it's skewing more and more towards mobile over time. Fewer and fewer people are playing on computers and more people are playing on mobile. So it's hard to justify spending a whole bunch of time on something that only benefits desktop users. But we can, like, when we get to the voting part, which we're talking about later on, we have it in our agenda here. You're welcome to make a request for a feature request for a better UI for desktops. And if enough people vote on it, it could in theory happen. It's just not the highest priority at the moment. Does the auto swapper interact with conquering territories? Yes, as long as you're the one conquering them. Does it checking for various caches and utilizing the hospital boost? Okay, that's a great question. Because that was something that there's a lot of confusion around. Where's my Warzone? So I'm going to go here to the change history page. Full change log. By the way, if you guys don't, most people probably don't go to help change history, but there is this link here, change history, where you can see like a full list of every feature that changed, going all the way back to 2008. And if you click the view full change log, sometimes there's things in here that are hidden that I don't always call out on the blog, which there is right now. Let me zoom in. So the auto artifact swapper originally launched in 5.26.1. You can see it right here. But then there was a small stealth update that didn't actually announce anywhere, that 5.26.1.1, which is the auto artifact swapper now considers cache things. So like if you're conquering a territory, oh God, I zoomed in. If you're conquering a territory that has a cache, let's see, do I actually have a money cache? I probably don't have one because I sacrificed all of my army cache boosts. Do I have an army cache anywhere I can get? Army cache. Here we go. So, army cache boost. This increases all armies received from all caches from army caches. So if I click this, hopefully it works. Yeah, you can see it equipped in my army cache boost. This did not work initially on the first launch of the game, launch of the artifact swapper. This was added in a small update that happened afterwards. So I noticed somebody on the forum posted a video of the artifact swapper. They still had the old version, so this feature was broken in their version, but it is fixed now. So it's smart. It looks at any caches you're getting. So the answer is yes, it does look at caches. The hospital boost always worked. That one wasn't in the update, but the caches one was fixed in the small stealth update, and it's even smart enough to look at what caches you're earning versus resources, money, and items. Or no, resources, money, and armies. And it's smart enough to choose the correct artifact based on that. There's also one that increases all caches. It will do that as well. And it's also smart enough to look at bonuses, like if you're capturing the last territory in a bonus. So like this bonus right here gives an army cache. If I capture the last territory in this bonus, it will be like, oh, you're going to get a cache from that bonus. So it's smart enough to do all those things. There's a very real chance that if so, it attempts to equip more passive artifacts than artifact slots available. Yes, that can especially happen because in theory, you could be capturing the last territory in several bonuses because some of these maps have overlapping bonuses. So like you could set up a scenario where like I'm capturing this territory, which is an ore cache, and it happens to be the last territory in this bonus, which is an army cache. So you could want an army cache artifact, an ore cache artifact, an all cache artifact, and a hospital boost artifact. Like that's 4 artifacts, and there's not enough room. And if you only have 3 slots, of course you only have 3 slots for passive artifacts, then there's not enough room. And in that case, what it will do is it will use the highest rarity one. So if one is a common and another is an epic, it will choose the epic. If they're the same rarity, like if they're all epics, then it just picks arbitrarily. Just won't have room for one of them. I just meant that Google constantly updates their UIs now. Yeah, okay. I play on mobile, but when I'm on PC, I'm frustrated. Sorry. Yeah, you're welcome to create a future user voice item. Do you have statistics on the most visited player profiles? I do not. Sorry. I will never play this on mobile, by the way. Just saying, I'm glued to my desktop. Okay, that's fine. It will always be available on desktop. It's just you might have to deal with some UIs that are designed for mobile. I have a bunch of clan war rewards saved up from past seasons. If I use several at the same type of reward, I know they don't stack in power, but will they extend past 2-week window? It is a waste. It is a waste to use them all at once. So most of the clan wars rewards give you something for 2 weeks, and if you use them back to back, basically when you use it, it extends your time out to 2 weeks from the time when you used it. So you do not want to use them all at once in that case. You want to use them 2 weeks apart. I've always wondered what that little icon guy in the bottom right corner of your current map, Scandinavia, and the Nordic countries means. Can I into Nordic? What? Oh, this? Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. You have to ask the creator of this map. I have no idea. Maybe it's an inside joke. Maybe it's a Scandinavia joke. Would it be possible to make the undug dig sites pop up after you click cancel on a dig site you choose not to start? This would make it easier to look at that perfect site. Possibly. I mean, that's another thing you can create on user voice. Its grammar is pretty bad. Shouldn't be saying, "Can I get into Nordic?" It's an internet meme. Is it a meme? I don't know that meme. Urban Dictionary. Does Artifact Swapper does this also when conquering territories not manually but by auto conquered? No. So the auto artifact swapper only works when you do the action, not when an auto something does the action. It's activated. I don't have the description. The description's available until you buy it, but then once you buy it, you can't read the description anymore. But it basically says it only enhances actions you take. Also, the other thing I'll say about it is it does not work in idle battles. It does not work in challenges. It's only for the main game. You want to make that overriding of clan rewards a bit more clear. Lots of people don't seem to know it, and the powers to extend is not intuitive and expected either. Yeah, it should probably be more clear. I agree. Really, the intent is that you should claim them right as soon as you get them. I think that's how I intend for people to do it. People that save them up for a long time is kind of weird in my opinion, especially I don't intend for people to save them up. It's also really weird if you save them up because it's like you have to go navigate through the seasons page and it's not really intuitive. But anyway, that's the auto artifact swapper. So, I closed the blog. I think that's all we need to say about it. It swaps your artifacts for you. So there you go. Most people tend to wait after Super Send. Okay, that's a good point. So they don't have to play every Clan Wars season and can take breaks in between. Okay. I've never heard of people doing that before, so that's interesting. Do most people really do that? Because I've never heard of that until just now. Filtered games. Oh, this is something that, it's kind of a small thing. I'm not sure I'll be able to show it because there probably aren't any filtered games. Yeah, but if you come here, so when you're creating a game, game creators have this section called Open Seat Prerequisites, where you can be like, you must be at least level, 44 or whatever. If you come to the Open Games page, previously the game would not be here because if you're not level 44, if someone creates a game that says you have to be level 44, it would just not be here. Now there's a little button, and on the website it appears right here next to this have a code link where it basically says you're missing out on like 5 games. Do you want to see what they are? And you click that button and you can see the games, whereas before you just never even see them. Are there any plans for future tweaking of the ladder MMR system? Not at the moment. Nope. Please take seasonal break. People take seasonal breaks from Clan Wars. And the reason this exists, this view the filtered games, I'd get requests from people at some point where this would happen a lot with boot rate, where somebody would send me, because a lot of people use this boot percentage filter, where they'd be like, I don't want to play with people that are booted more than 10% of their games or whatever like that. And some people would come to me and they would say, Open Games is dead. There's almost no games there. And then I'd inevitably open up their profile and they would have like a 75% boot rate. This happens so many times. And they would accuse Warzone of being dead. And it's just like, well, it's not that nobody's playing. It's just that nobody wants to play with you. And so I would tell them this not that way. I would be very kind. But I would explain to them why about open seat prerequisites and like I would encourage them to try to get their boot rate down. And usually they would just yell at me. Same thing happens with, now that was something I solved quite a while ago. You might recall this happened for boot. There used to be a little thing here that told you how many games you were missing due to your boot rate. Basically, that's extended now to all the prerequisites, so you can see all the games you're missing due to prerequisites. And there's even more prerequisites that aren't shown here. There's one that's used if you add mods to your game. If you try to make an open game with mods without using the non-members to join checkmark, you basically get a secret prerequisite on your game called only members can join. So that will be here too. If you're a non-member, you can see how many games you're missing out due to not being a member, if any. I'm a member, so I don't see it, but I don't know how many there are. So yeah, that's a thing now. On the website, the link is at the top. This feature will exist on the mobile app as well, except the link is at the bottom just because there wasn't really a good place for it at the top. I feel like the Art of Artifact Swapper is a bit expensively priced. Yeah, I mean, the general philosophy when you're running a business is if your customers don't feel like your products are a bit expensive, then they're probably too cheap. So it is by design, yes. It is a bit expensively priced, I would agree. And when you price your standard Super Camp at $10, which I budget for the sale, have you ever thought about something like Super Hospital? Super Hospital? Ooh, that's an interesting idea. I don't know many players that sometimes, I don't know how many players know that sometimes the games are locked by memberships due to mods. Yes. So actually, just a Dutchman, maybe you should try, well, once this update is live on all platforms, I would say, hey, try creating a, maybe I'll do this. I'll try creating a modded game for only members and seeing if more people notice it than before. Because now there should be a little link telling people that they're missing out on a game if they're not a member. I noticed the Tidy Up Your Dashboard plugin stopped working. So that one is an unofficial plugin made by a player named Molly. And so it's up to him to keep his plugin working. So if it's something about it that's not working, you should notify him. That's not an official plugin using any sort of official Warzone plugin feature. So it's not something that I can, and it's not something I have any control over. The people demand premium green. Sure. Once we get to the user voice section of our talk here, I can't click on the agenda. Once we get to this section, you should create a user voice item for it. Thanks for schooling me in this old country balls meme. This update removes some UGS hooks that Molly used, so probably broke it again. I wasn't aware of it removing any hooks, but it's possible. Regarding boot rates, my boot rate tends to climb higher when I join real-time tournaments, but requires a reasonable amount of micromanagement to realize a game started on desktop. Any chance that a real-time tournament could match the starting, progressing, could send out a pop-up notification similar to how mobile devices does? Yeah, that's actually something I've had on my list for a long time, is browser push. There's a way that browsers can push notifications. You can request a website will push notifications to your browser. Warzone currently does not support browser push, and I would like to add it. In fact, at one point I started working on it, but it was really complicated. I couldn't quite figure it out. I couldn't quite get it working the way I wanted to. But I would like to add that someday. In the meantime, you can set up email notifications. You can set up like an email client to pop up emails on your device. Like, it's possible to do that. It might be a bit of work to set that up, but that's one workaround. Another workaround is you can install the Android or iOS app on your phone and set up push notifications, even when you're playing on desktop. And then your phone will beep when you get notifications. Even if you're not playing on your phone, you can use your phone as like a way to notify you. So another option, it's another workaround. But yeah, I agree browser push is the best solution to that problem, and currently we do not support browser push. Okay. Where are we at? Okay, so that was filtered games. Website buttons work like Link. This one I'm actually pretty excited about. It's a pretty small thing, but something that should have been here a long time ago, in my opinion. So when you're browsing these pages on the website, like ladders, all these buttons, these big green buttons, if you left click on them, of course, you go to that page just like normal, but now you can do things like you can say open a new tab, and there we go. We just open the ladder in a new tab. And then if we were like browsing games, this is where it really is useful. If you want to like view a bunch of games, like let's go to a player, like say I want to view Aika's games. Like view all games. We can now do things like we can just middle click on all these links, and then all these games are opened in tabs, and we can start looking through them. Whereas before you had to left click, wait for the game to load, view it, back, left click, wait for it to load. Now we can just open a new tab, and we can just be like, look at all these games. Yeah. So that's the thing it's pretty exciting. Should have been like that for a long time, to be honest, but I finally got around to doing it. Yeah, basically the website works like you'd expect a website to work. That's all there is to it. Not every link on the entire website supports that, like these page buttons don't, but hopefully more and more will support it over time. I added the technology and the ability to do it now. My apps notifications tend to come like 5-10 minutes after a turn starts. That's weird. They should come up right away. So am I super happy with it? Good, I'm glad you enjoy it. Admitting that you hate changing artifacts in idle, then fixing it for $35. Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, I wish everything could be free. I don't want to charge for anything in Warzone. And in fact, for the first like 5 years or the first 3 years of this game's existence, I didn't charge for anything, and there were no ads. It literally made no money. If I could, I would continue doing that forever. But the servers cost like $1,000 a month just to keep online these days. Back in the early days, it was like, man, the servers cost like $20 a month. It was great. Only had one server. It was cheap. But these days, it costs like $1,000 a month just to keep the servers online. So that money has to come from somewhere. And guess what? I'm doing Ask Me Anything on Monday. You guys should check that out. Okay. Other changes. So this one I already referenced. I already talked about this. So there's this new page. This page was just created with this update called Change Experimental Settings. This page actually isn't linked from anywhere. It's only linked from the blog. You cannot get to this page through the website anywhere. It's kind of just experimental things for the people that want to try out 3D or this combined player strings that we'll talk about here in a minute. Been having that for years. It's hard to nail down how exactly when it's delayed, so never bother to make a bug report for it. With the server costs going up sky high, does that mean Warzone just got loads more players? It's been this price for many years. This is not a new thing. Inspector arrows sometimes getting stuck on screen. That was a bug that was fixed. Deleted accounts, so we talked about this earlier. Deleted accounts used to remove from the clan. Now they actually announce in clan chat that it happened. Okay, so player strings. Let's talk about this. This is a really weird thing. So as part of this update, I did a whole bunch of work on this players section down here. Let me screenshot this. And I already have it screenshotted. So this players section, let me put chat back. This players section, this section got really bad when players' names got very long. It actually looks fine here. So I made a lot of improvements. So like the level text would end up getting like squished and sometimes wrap onto multiple lines. Like in the old version, sometimes, you'd have like the 4 on the next line or something like that. How come I can't move this? Select. Move. Yeah, you'd end up with weird situations like the 6 is above the 4. Or you'd end up situations where like the clan icon was like covering up part of the level name, and when names got very long, lots of things broke. Things would get squished, things would get wrapped. It really didn't look good. And not just here, but this is everywhere in the entire Unity app that displays player names. It's been a challenge and something I did a lot of work on. The most noticeable change that you guys probably noticed is this new little hourglass. Before, it just put a star next to people's names, which wasn't as clear. At the bottom, there's this little legend telling you what it meant, but still wasn't as clear. Plus, some people would do dumb things like they'd put stars into their player name, which just created confusion. So now it's got a nice little hourglass. It also puts it to the left, which I think is a good thing, because then you can easily scan down the left column to see everyone that hasn't moved. It might take a little getting used to, but I do think it is a small improvement. It's not a huge deal, but it's a nice little improvement to have the hourglass instead of the star. And this change, that change happened regardless for everyone, but the change enabled by this checkbox, this compliant player strings, this does a lot more to this area, which is this actually combines. So one of the things I've been wanting to do for a long time is to make these clan icons and the member icons, all the icons that appear on this row, make them just characters in one long string. So that's kind of the way it works on a website. But in the Unity app, the text rendering engine is kind of limited in the Unity app. And let's see if I can actually show it. What do we got here? Oh, crap. Let me sign in as myself. Okay. And if I go here, so this is my development environment. So like the clan icons aren't showing up, unfortunately, but you can see each one of these things is like a different object in Unity. and the clan icon, which would be there, and the level. And that's not ideal because when things get very long, it ends up creating a lot of bad situations where things get shrunk and they look really bad. So there's this new setting, which I have to actually turn it on. Crap. Let me turn this setting on. AIs are no longer green. That is correct. Now there's a little icon that says AI instead of turning the name green, which is more intuitive and also helps for color blindness. Come on, just a second here. I need to enable this thing. Also, I need to catch up on chat. Different value for somebody in USA and somebody in Central Europe. Yeah, so that's a whole other deal, which is there's different costs of living for people different around the world. That's kind of a global problem. I don't know of a good way of solving that. Let's see. Settings, back, open. Okay, so this is the combined player string. So now this entire thing is one string. So I don't know if you can read this. It's probably too small for you guys to read on stream. But basically, there's this new system here where this entire thing can be one string, which when things get very long, like if I have a really long name, it ends up looking better. I don't know if this is the best example for it. There's other places in the app, like if we go to ladders and we look here. Yeah. So like, let's say Rufus had a very long name. Whereas here. In the old system, this would look really bad, but it ends up looking better because of the combined strings. You just kind of got to take my word for it, but it's hard for me to show off. I don't have a specific example shown where I can really show a before and after. I should do that. I should get a really bad example of where it looks really bad in the old system and where the new system makes it look better, but I was not prepared. But this is you get the kind of idea of what I'm trying to say is when names get long, this helps things look better, especially on small screens where you have very limited space. I do love the game and I've spent cash over it, but recently it feels just like a cash grab. I'm sorry you feel that way, but just my goal of Warzone is never to make millions of dollars. I really just want to be able to live and be able to make it my full-time job. Where do I buy the new artifact in the web version from? So the prerequisites, I mentioned this earlier on the stream, but the prerequisites for buying the artifact swapper is first you have to have the new version of the app. So if you're on iOS or Android, you won't see it yet until the new version comes out. But if you are on the website, you can buy it right here on the artifacts tab. There are a couple prerequisites. one, you must have at least I think it's 5 passive artifacts. If you have fewer than that, it won't show up because it's you won't be getting much benefit from it. So it doesn't. Basically, the reason I did that is because I don't want to show it to people that just started playing and they don't have any artifacts yet. They wouldn't really get any benefit from it, so it'd be kind of weird to show it to them. And the other thing is you have to have bought the super camp because it's kind of a progression. The idea is first you buy the super camp, then you buy the artifact swapper. You're asking for localized proper pricing. Yeah, people use VPNs. I mean, that's a global problem every company faces, which is if you have pricing for one country, then some people will buy it in that country and then take your product to the US and resell it and stuff like that. That may not be a problem for digital goods, but it's... Start accepting Bitcoins. I've thought about it before. I don't have any moral problem with accepting Bitcoins. I've never done the work to do it. Wouldn't it be a simpler solution to set the player name object to be scrollable? Not really, because if you have 100 names listed down, you're not going to go scroll through all of them. It should just wrap properly. The way text works is it should wrap. This is a long string right here. When it gets to the end, it wraps down to the next line. You wouldn't want to scroll left and right on this string, right? You wouldn't want this to be super long and have to scroll left and right. Things should just wrap properly. That's my philosophy. You can't easily convert Bitcoin to cash. You can with reasonable amounts. Warzone's not making enough money that it would be hard to convert. I'd be fine with accepting Bitcoin. Wouldn't it be a simpler solution to set the player in? Oh yeah, I just read that. Auto scroll on hover. So one thing is I've learned over the years is whenever you get the word hover, that means that is a desktop specific feature that does not work on mobile. Whereas I'm trying to design a UI that works both on mobile and computers at the same time. Limiting the length of usernames. Yeah, I mean, you can limit the length, but then some people can still make their game names take up more space by putting like capital W's in it and stuff. There's always going to be longer names. Plus, it's kind of, I don't want to tell people that already have long names to shorten their names. Where were you the creator when it was Warlight? Were you the creator when it was Warlight? Yes, I did create Warlight. I am the same guy. I've been making this game since 2008. You just bought in and got the Super Camp. Well, thanks for supporting the game. I hope you enjoy it. Okay, so I hopefully did at least somewhat passable job of explaining this combined player strings to you. I'm sure I could have done a much better job of explaining that. I need to have screenshots like side by side showing the before and after on a case where it's actually problematic, but I was not prepared. Clean up the player summary panel. I'll just explain that. When creating a multiplayer game, if you load a template that's not yours, so this is something that happens a lot when you load quick match templates. So when you load a template, you have this button here where you can click quick match templates, and you can like load this template. And so now, all the quick match templates in the database are configured with open seats. So what you'd used to get is just 2 open seats here in the game. Now you get yourself in an open seat, which is probably what you want, the vast majority of the time. So that's a little bug fix. That's done. That's fixed now. When you're creating a single player game, if you load a multiplayer template, it now does a better job. So if you when you go to a single player custom game, which is what I just went to, and you go to multiplayer templates and you load it, it should do a better job of constructing this. Sometimes it was coming up all AIs, which was also not what you usually want. Now it does a better job of making sure you're in the game along with a few AIs and the correct number of AIs too, because if you load a quick match template, it used to do dumb stuff like it would put like 3 AIs in here, and it's like, well, that's a 1v1 template. Why is it putting 3 AIs in a 1v1 template? It doesn't make any sense. If you're loading a 1v1 template, you probably want to practice 1v1. So it does that now, as it should have. The alternative to the name length issues and not wrapping is just reducing the font size. You can reduce the font size, but that doesn't... First off, that looks bad when you have a big list of things and some of them are very small and the others are normal size. It looks really weird. Also, if the names are very long, the font size gets so small you can't even read it, so you have to have a minimum font size, and even at the minimum font size, sometimes it's too long to cause the wrapping problems I was talking about before. So it does help, but it's not a complete solution. Thank you, I really love your game. Thanks, I'm glad you enjoy it. You can still swap them back for 2 open seats, right? Yes, all I'm talking about is what it defaults to. You can always come in here to change players and do whatever you want. Only supports 6 players in that map. It's because it's small Earth. The idle arena templates put me off. Couldn't idle just link to a quick match on your unlocked maps? Couldn't idle just link to a quick match on your unlocked maps? Oh, and just let you choose the template? Yeah, I mean, it could. It is a way it could have been designed. Yes, it's just not how it's currently designed. But the idle arena templates are optional. It's totally fine to skip them. Back when I was first designing idle, I actually had some ideas for the arenas. Like I was going to make them required. Like you couldn't conquer the territory until you won the arena match. And I'm like, well, some people aren't going to want to play the arenas. So I designed to make them optional. You can still beat an idle level without playing the arenas. So you're always welcome to skip them. Can you tell us when the nudge button will be fixed? I wasn't aware it was broken. It doesn't seem to do anything. As far as I know, it still does something, which is it sends that player an email. or a notification, I should say. It sends them a notification, however their notifications are enabled, such as push to their phone or email or whatever. I do agree some of the read attempts are a bit unfun. I think it would help with people joining games and getting booted before turn 1. Would play more arenas if there were maps I picked. Yeah. When publishing a community level, the try again button, it's just a bug fix. I don't need to go over every bug fix. Optimize the speed of loading multiplayer games. Oh, this is something I've been wanting to do for many years. Basically, all this is when you load a multiplayer game, it has to communicate with the server. It now has to do one less round trip to the server when you're loading a multiplayer game. Before, it would have to go back a couple times talking to the server about stuff. And I combined two of them, so it is slightly faster. It doesn't really help anything other than making it slightly faster. If you're on a very slow connection, you might notice a big speed increase. But for most of us, we'll probably never know this. But it's just good to know that it's slightly more optimized. Added explanation how basic attacks work. This is something I'm always thinking about, how new players learn the game. So like when you open Analyze Attack, it now has this little blurb up here that basically explains basic combat. Because it's like, how are you going to know how basic combat works unless it tells you somewhere? You're going to go read the wiki? Most people aren't going to go read the wiki. Most people are just going to play the app. So it's nice to have explanations in the app. And a bunch of bug fixes. I don't need to go over all these. Mod bug fixes, updated Unity version, display the forum name. Cool. That's the update. I spooked when I first saw the message I had not unlocked mods. Yeah, that was a bug. Check whether I still had my membership. Yeah, that's a very reasonable thing to do, but that was a bug. There was a bug where it told you that it popped up a message in a very specific modding circumstance that says you haven't unlocked mods yet, when actually you had. That's fixed now. The nudge button doesn't work. Please look into it. Show me your evidence of why it doesn't work. Did you have somebody nudge you and you didn't get a notification? Is that what you're saying happened? If so, you should send me a bug report. And I want to include the game you were nudged on and what notifications you expected to get. I can look into the log and try to figure out why you didn't get your nudge notification. It seems you're skipping advice comments from the community who provided so many of your maps. I'll say again, I love this game and I'm so glad I found it. I've never seen a game much before where so many players dedicate the time to making tourneys and whatnot. It seems you're skipping advice from comments from the community. Not sure what you mean, but thanks for your kind words. Glad you enjoy the game. If it's possible, maybe idle arenas could be from a selection of multiple templates. That way, less likely I play a template I don't enjoy. LD Commander. LD Commander is my favorite template. Yeah, that's possible. You're welcome to submit that. Nudge button does nothing. There's no log, no error. I mean, I just clicked the nudge button and it popped up the nudge dialog. You'll have to file a bug report and tell me more about what you're doing, because I clicked the nudge button and it works. It pops up the dialog. The nudge button did not do nothing as reported. So if record a video of what you're seeing, Black Bart, and send me a video, that's the easiest way to communicate. That way I'll know exactly what button is not working for you. Everyone knows mortars are useless. Is there any plans to buff them? I wasn't aware they were useless. Like, they should reduce the army count of armies you have to capture. Okay, so we are now done with this one. Yay. And we're done with this one. Yay. Let's talk about user voice. So, user voice is the way that we have done feature requests, which this is the user voice, the Warzone user voice forum. There's a number of things about user voice that are less than ideal. The first thing that always annoys me is how they keep having this like messed up styles. Like, why is this in a small column on the right and overlapping this button? It's so disgusting looking. I don't understand why they haven't fixed that. It's been that way for years, but that's neither here nor there. That's a small issue. The bigger thing with user voice is, well, there's a number of issues with user voice. So for one thing, like we have this item on here, Windows Phone Client. I strongly suspect that nobody that voted for the Windows Phone Client actually cares about it anymore. This has been here for a long time. I feel like there's a need. I've been wanting to for a long time. Thinking about doing a user voice reset where I just wipe everything and let people put their votes in again. So the way this works is everyone gets 10 votes and you can spread them out as much as you want. I think you get a maximum of 3 votes per idea. So you can vote on up to 4, or if you want to maximize your effectiveness, you can vote on 4 different ideas, like 3 3s and a 1. User Voice is an old website and sometimes the connections seem broken. User Voice wipe would be very cool. Yeah, I've been thinking about doing a wipe for a long time, just to get like fresher data. But there's other thing like I would like to do. Like I wish I could ask everyone that's voted on the Windows Phone Client if they still care about that, and like give them an option to require them to put their vote in again to make sure they want to. I mean, I could just close it and ask them to open it again, but that's not ideal because I think the Windows Phone is kind of dead, isn't it? But yeah, there's a whole lot of problems with the user voice. But let's talk about the biggest user voice problem that's come up recently. This. So user voice recently announced that they are no longer free. This is the new user voice pricing page. So you can see the most basic user voice plan, the cheapest one. Yeah, that's $700 per month. And that only allows up to 200 users to provide feedback. We have way more than 200 users in Warzone. And that's the $700 per month plan. If you want to have 1,000 users, well, then you got to pay $900 per month. These prices are absolutely insane. Not to be rude, baby, just stop user voice. I feel like it doesn't really work anyways. Well, that's what I'm leaning towards. And that's only 1,000 users. If you want 5,000 users, which I don't know how many users we have on user voice, but we certainly have tens or hundreds of thousands of players. I wouldn't even want to do a plan $1,300 a month and still most people that play Warzone can't give feedback. It's kind of ridiculous. Like, it's very clear that user voice's pricing is designed for like enterprise customers. They're not designed for small indie games. Now, to be fair, user voice is offering a discount for grandfathered in accounts, so we wouldn't have to pay quite these prices, but it's pretty clear to me that user voice is not going to be a long-term option. There are probably other websites that do a similar thing, but honestly, I feel like I could build something in a weekend to replace what we use user voice. We barely use any of user voice's features, right? All we need is a way to make like a post and allow voting on it. It's so weird to me that people would pay $700 a month for a site that's so broken they don't even have their they don't even space out their main page. Custom voices or sounds would be great. I had to mute it because of the constant droning on some of the big player games was starting to get on my dreams. Oh, sorry about that. I think you want to move your stuff currently on your Voice to Threads channel and Discord. Discord's an option. But so one of the things I want to do, I'm thinking there's benefit to having it integrated into Warzone. Because if I had this integrated in Warzone, what I would do right now is I'd send a private message to everyone that's voted on the Windows Phone client and ask them, do you still want this? Which is a thing I can do in an automated fashion. It would be really easy. Also, I feel like it would be better to have it integrated into Warzone because then you could view a list of everyone that's voted on these things. Also, the other thing I'd like to do is I'd like to delete all the votes for inactive players. If somebody hasn't played in 3 years, their votes should just automatically disappear from this. And I can't do that right now because the user voice system is not integrated with Warzone. But if they're integrated, and that's how Quick Match works, by the way. I don't know if you guys know this, but when you go into Quick Match and you go to the voting section and you look at these votes, you can view players that voted on these templates. All these accounts should be active because if any account becomes inactive, their votes are just automatically taken out of all templates they voted on Quick Match. and they're sent a notification when that happens. But it's kind of cool because in Quick Match, you know that all the votes on these are from people that still play. I want a similar thing for the user voice forum or for our feature request forum. Best update ever, the death of user voice. Discord is the easy option integrated into Warzone, could be beneficial in many ways. Yeah, the other thing that would help is people that rig results. So some people try to create multiple user voice accounts, and it's really hard to catch them right now because it's hard for me to know if they're a real player. But in Warzone, votes will be public. This is how I envision the feature request system. You should be able, just like in Quick Match where you can view players that voted, you should be able to go and view everyone that's putting their votes in for a user voice request. Or for a feature request. I guess we need to stop calling it a user voice request because it's not going to be user voice anymore. It's going to be feature requests. And so it'll be pretty easy to catch people that are multi-accounting because, like, if there's a whole bunch of level 1s accounts, you'll be like, yeah, that's probably not real. And then maybe we can do something where we like have a way to unlock more votes. Like maybe you only start out with 1 vote, and as you level up, you get more votes. That's kind of a anti-alt account thing we do. So if you're level 1, you only have 1 vote and you can't do much. Or maybe you unlock votes when you get to like level 15 or something. I actually like that because then when you get to level 15, we can pop up a message and be like, hey, you have a vote now. Go vote on Warzone's future. There's all sorts of things I can think of that we can integrate that would be beneficial versus using user voice. So combined with user voice asking for like, tens of thousands of dollars a year, I think it might be a good time to finally do that. And if we do that, plus I've been saying I want to do a reset anyway. So if we do that, I probably won't migrate all the data from user voice, unfortunately, which does mean if you have something on user voice you care about, you should go make sure you have that data. I'm not going to take down this site anytime soon, but you should go make sure you have this data and then recreate it in the new system once the new system goes live. I haven't even started building this yet, but I think I'm going to. Because otherwise user voice is going to go down. Oh, I said I'm not going to take this data down soon, but just note that user voice is going to take it down because they did send me an email saying, hey Fizzer, go give us your credit card number, because they don't even have my credit card number. User voice has been free. And I'm like, yeah, I don't think I'm going to give you my credit card number if you're planning on charging me $700 a month. That's not happening. I'm not giving them my credit card number. So at some point, this site might go down. So if there is something on user voice you care about, you should go make sure you copy that. I should probably save a copy of the database somehow. Paste the template voting system over to a subsection of the forums help page suggestion feedback. Yeah, that is exactly what I'm thinking. I think I'm going to integrate it with the forum. This is how I envision it. I haven't actually done this yet, so it might end up different, but I'm thinking it's going to be a new forum, and it's going to integrate with the forum system. So like when you pull up something, it will look like a forum thread, and then somewhere off to the side or maybe on the top or something, there'll be a new box that allows you to vote, and it'll show you how many votes you have, and you can put your votes into different ideas. That's kind of how I envision it. You still have no idea what the user voice stuff is about. Do I need to get into it? I would just advise you to wait until the new system is online, because learning the old system. Features requested by the community. Yeah, this is so. Oh yeah, I should go over what this is for people that don't know. This is basically your way to vote on what you want me to do. That's basically what user voice is. It's the way I get feedback from you guys as the community. And user voice has been really helpful because it allows like grouping up stuff. So like before we had user voice, people would just directly email me, and it was really hard for me to like keep it all organized in my mind. So user voice allows a way for someone to create an idea, have it displayed in a very narrow column like this, and then it allows people to vote for it. You can see 627 people voted for this. 481 people, or not people, but 481 votes have been cast towards the Windows Phone client. I work in software. This is the trend for sure. Yeah, sure. I don't blame user voice. Like they They created a free site and they had it free for many, many, many years, and now they're deciding that they're going to start charging. The only thing that's crazy is just the price they're charging. It's like they're focused on enterprise customers. They're not here for people like us that are a one-man indie game. It's like, obviously there's no way we could afford $700 a month for something that I could create in a weekend. Like it's absurd. How hard was it to dev Warzone? I don't know how hard. I don't know how to answer how hard it was, but it's something I've been working on since 2008. So that's how long it's taken. It'd be a really quick, easy way to gather, sort feedback suggestions. Sounds like Fizzer has gathered plans to integrate more into the app site. Yeah. Have any mods been developed to use Warzone like an election simulator type game? I'm not sure. Maybe. Yeah. You should ask Just a Dutchman. He's most in touch with the modding community. Sometimes when I go offline, I randomly get invited to real-time events, and then I get booted when I never agreed to join. If you're talking about a game that starts with the letters QM, that stands for Quick Match. And this is, if you go to multiplayer, you can find Quick Match underneath there. And this is how you control that. So you might need, if you don't want those and it says QM, you can turn it off just by unchecking this box. When the game starts, the sound notification is not heard when I'm active on another tab in my browser. Yeah, so that's a feature of your browser. So Chrome, I don't know what browser you're using, but like most browsers these days, like I think Chrome was the first to do this. When you make another tab active, it kind of shuts down the tabs that are in the background and it like doesn't let them run. And so it kind of, Warzone isn't able to play the sound because it's your browser is not letting it run. One solution to that is instead of using different tabs, you can use different windows. And then the best solution to this problem is something I talked about earlier on this stream, which is called browser push. There's a feature where your browsers can subscribe for updates from websites. And unfortunately, Warzone does not support that yet. And it's something I want to add someday. Maybe that's something I'll add to the new features request website. Please don't use Discord. User voice charging 700 crazy. Your latest artifact change for 35. So that was crazy. I think everyone should have a free option and people should work up the chain. Use Warzone to simulate an election campaign for an area. Okay. So that's user voice. I think I'm going to design a feature request system into Warzone. And I think it's going to work much better. And I'll also have a reset. So make sure if you have something on user voice site you care about, you grab it. I should just save this downloads. Just in case. It's not a quick match. It's those really long ones that are supposed to take days or something like that. So every Warzone game requires your consent to join it. If it's not quick match, like checking this box is basically giving quick match consent to join the game. If it's another game, it means you joined it somehow. Maybe you joined a tournament. Maybe you joined a ladder. Somewhere you joined it, or maybe somebody invited you to a game and you clicked accept game. Somewhere you have to look at the name of the game to see where it came from. If it says ladder on the front, then it's from a ladder. If it says QM, it's from quick match. If it says tournament, it's from a tournament. If it doesn't say any of those things, it's a direct invite. It means that you clicked the join game on it. Okay, let's go over this thread. So this is a forum thread I created for people to ask me questions, people that couldn't be here during the stream. Please make the auto artifact swapper a prize if you won in certain games like Raft or something that I can't afford. Is my clan going to participate in Clan Wars 18? No, I have no plans to do that. We're not really a competitive clan. We're just kind of casual. I could participate in multi-template ladder. I should participate in multi-template ladder. That's something I should do at some point. But I'm not planning on it right now because I'm streaming. On PC, it's even open Discord and Warzone at once, so that's too hard on mobile. For years, I wanted to make a visual editor for mods so you could see, so you don't need a membership or don't know how to code. That would be pretty interesting. Is this background music playing off an Atari ST or an Amiga? It is not. It is playing in VLC. I was told once you mentioned a Clan War update was planned. Anything on the immediate roadmap? Yeah, that's on our agenda. We're going to do that after this thread. Talking about Clan Wars. Will we get a multi-template ladder added to the ladders page? Multi-template ladder is on the community events page because it is made by the community. It is not a official Warzone feature. It is right here, multi-template ladder. So it is on the community events page, not the ladders page, because it is a community event. Will we get rewards for participating in multi-template ladder? There already is a reward for the multi-template ladder. There's actually a trophy you can get. It is the only community event that has an official reward. Will Warzone ever properly localize dates or just move to the ISO year, month, day? Yeah, this is my preferred solution to dates, is to show year, month, day, because it's understandable by everyone, and I also like it because it sorts in order. Like if you have them, and if you have a bunch of files named this way, they will be sorted in order. But yeah, this is mostly me. I just haven't got around to doing it. But yes, ideally, I would move everything to this standard. You can see right here on the forum, it's still using the US standard mostly because I haven't focused on it. But ideally, yes, I think the ideal solution is to have everything use year, month, day. I just haven't done it. I should do that at some day. The update seems to obscure UJS hooks when in a game. I read things from there from some user scripts add hookies. So that's not an officially supported feature of Warzone. Some people will go into the website and they'll try to hook into things that aren't not official modded things. I actually don't know why that got obscured. It may have been, I don't know how that happened, to be honest. I don't think that's something that I did on purpose. I would have to investigate why that changed. What can the community do to persuade you to remove the clan cap? So I think it's better to have lots of clans rather than just a few super giant ones. Pretty much every game that I've ever played has a cap on the number of people you can have in your clans or guilds or whatever each game calls it. I think it's pretty normal. I don't think that's something that's unreasonable to have a cap. Because you wouldn't really want to have like tens of thousands of people in a clan. It's kind of ridiculous. I think it makes sense to have lots of clans rather than just a couple monster ones. Can you show us statistics about the game? Ladder rating distributions. Average idle progress by age. Average map size over time. Average anything you find cool over time. I did add the fun stats page with a bunch of stats, but they're more player focused rather than global like this. What happened to fun stats? That's under my name, right? Fun stats. But yeah, I don't have these particular things handy to show you right now, unfortunately. Like anyone could do this. Some people have already collected data on all the maps and they know the published dates. So you could actually, and you know the number of territories. So you could actually do that based on the data. Average idle progress by age. That's a hard thing to measure because what is idle progress? Like if somebody's super ascended, they're going to appear as having less progress than somebody that hasn't. So yeah, but you could still do something like this. Ladder rating distributions. I know there's other community members that have collected ladder data that could probably also give that to you. Generally, do you think players have gotten better or worse in the last few years? I think over time, people are always getting better. I already did an update on the legal case, so I won't rehash that. But yeah, I don't have any hard data to define this. It's also really hard to measure how people are getting better over time because a lot of the game is competitive and they're against other people that are also getting better, so it's hard to measure. But I do think in general, people get better over time. Your pin takes up too much space on the Twitch mobile app. New clan cap would say. How do you get community cuts on the page? Nation codes too. See, it's outdated. That is maintained by PS player. Where did it go? Community events. I think it's at the bottom. Oh, does it not say here anymore? I thought it said on this page. Community dashboard. Community events. This list is maintained by PS. It shouldn't be here. This is actually a bad place for it. But yeah, if you go to the multiplayer dashboard, there's a little link right here. List of community accounts is maintained by PS, and it gives you a link right there. You should mail him for any changes. They're not going to be tens of thousands of players in a clan. Well, if that's the case, then what cap do you think is reasonable? They presumably like it that way. We had multi-day games mode. I'm sure the people in a large clan like it that way. But I don't think it's healthy for the community. Excuse me, I bumped the mic. I don't think it's healthy for the community to have super large clans. I think it's better to have lots of clans. We'll have to find him first. There's a link right here. Just click on his name. Will 3D ever be the default for browser? Probably eventually, although I don't think we're even close to that right now. Is 3D done or put more time into it? Yeah, certainly there's going to be a lot more that happens to it. It is, at least the browser version is brand new. It definitely needs a lot more refinement. What percentage of people are using 3D? On the browser, 0, because it just launched. Practically no one's enabled it yet. On iOS and Android, it's 90+%, I'm sure. I mean, I don't have actual data to back that up, but it's the default. It's on by default, so I'm sure most people don't go into the settings menu and change settings. Just as a general rule, 90+% of people are never going to go into the settings menu and start tweaking settings. They're just going to use whatever the default is. So I'm sure like 95% or more of people are using 3D on the mobile app because it is the default. Clan caps are either counted to prevent communities from developing within Warzone and can change that can be easily monetized. Why would they get any bigger than they are now? Perfax 50 is a reasonable quality of life improvement without breaking the content limit? Yeah, I'd be open to 50. I think 50 is reasonable. How about a base 49 cap and coins, cash to expand by 10 players? Maybe. PS has been inactive. Really? You're right, he is. We should, if he's not responding to requests to change the community events page, we need a new community event organizer. We still have a bunch of uncapped clans that don't swell to thousands. The way you dismiss the clan limit shows you're out of touch with the community. 100 would be fine. So yeah, we'll talk about this more when we get to Clan Wars. Because part of the reason for the cap is for Clan Wars. Because if everyone can play Clan Wars and you have 100 people in one clan and 40 people in another clan, under the current system, which just counts wins, it would be completely unfair. And you don't really want 100 people in every clan under the current system because then 60% of your clan cannot play Clan Wars, and that's not ideal. Clan Wars is for everyone. But we'll get to this. It's next on the agenda. Clan Wars. We're getting there. Could you consider expanding coin prize to the top 18 clans because it would drive participation? Yeah, that's entirely possible. I think that's a reasonable request. You should send me mail with that request. Or you should add it to the new features form when we have the new features form. I don't have any questions asked, but I enjoyed listening to AMA. Thanks, Fizzer, and good night from this part of the world. Thanks. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm glad you enjoy the game. Have a good night. Clan Wars is the Lowe's part of the website. What's wrong with Lowe's? Lowe's is a great store. Okay, so back to this thread. We'll get to Clan Wars. We have Clan Wars. It's on the agenda. After we finish this thread, what happened to my thread? I closed the thread? What have I done? Okay. How many times has jackpot wheel spins been rewarded? I don't know. I would have to research that. It is announced in the global chat whenever it's won. So if you're paying attention, maybe you could count those, like how many per day. Probably happens. My guess is it happens every other day. That would be my prediction. I don't know if that's true. That's what I would guess. Every other day, and it's been live for I don't know how many years. How many players have completed all achievements? I don't know. The only person I know that was working on that was Timinator. Did he ever get all of them? Oh, he only has 88%. I guess more were added. I think at one point he was like at 99. I don't know. How many people have completed all achievements? I bet the community does that. I prefer playing in 3D. Is there any chance of playing in VR? That was something I toyed around with at one point, but I have not. I'm currently not pursuing that. Maybe someday. Do you know the concept of capturing territories on the clan war map? Wheel spin jackpots. What are the actual odds on the wheel? It is not disclosed. I don't know off the top of my head. I could look it up, but I don't think I want to actually disclose it. It's pretty rare. It's very rare that you get the 1,000 coins. It's a very low percentage. Can there be wheel spin for desktop? So the wheel is basically a reward for watching an ad. And the ads really only work on mobile. Like, you can get ads on desktop, but they don't pay well. Unfortunately, the ad world is very mobile focused these days. And so ads on mobile are really the only thing that can generate enough money to justify giving away free coins. He lost that status, so he added idle achievements. Is he not? But he plays idle. Does he just give up on achievements, I guess? What if instead of capturing, we're given armies based on clan war wins to play it like a classical game? That would be interesting. And then like who controls what attacks happen? There'd be so much collusion though, like clans would work together and they would like gang up on other clans. That would be nuts. I like the idea, but I don't know if it would work in practice. There might be a way to do something like that. Mobile ads have had a lot higher revenue and easier access than the web would. Yeah. Very nice. UJS buttons now work like playing HTML button opening a tab. Exclamation point. We consider doing something similar with the forward back navigation on browser as well. Yes, that is actually a great idea. It should. That is something I should do. Let me write that down. Because yeah, if you are navigating through UGS pages and you click like not that one, but you click the back button in your browser, it does not work properly today, and it should. And I think that is something I can fix. Yeah, you just explained. I agree. +1 on the date, +1 on making the Clan War nav links into openable new tabs. Clan War nav links? Clan Wars. I don't know what you mean by nav links. Like these? Or the seasons? Oh yeah, the seasons. Maybe this is what you're talking about. So these buttons currently do not work for opening a new tab. It won't actually work, but they should. I think I can fix that. Oh, it's ready. Oh, Clan Wars is up. What do we got? Got some Guiroma, some multi-attack MME light fog. Does nobody like Guiroma? Oh, somebody likes it. Just went from 0 to 1. I was about to say, maybe we should remove that. Maybe nobody plays it. And then somebody joined right as I said that. Regarding mobile ads, I noticed Warzone ads are often cut really short or outright don't play. I'm not aware of that. I will look into it. I don't know. Have you ever considered... Thanks for letting me know about that. I'll look into it. I don't know if there's anything going on there. I mean, the ads are done by Google, so I don't really have much influence in them. But it's possible there's a bug on my end. Have you considered awarding experience in mega games for players finishing 2 to 5th? Yeah, so this is the big problem with Warzone Classic games, determining second place. In practice, I'm not sure that really works because, well, how do you determine second place? Is it the second to last person to be eliminated? The problem is whoever is the first place person has full control over that because they can just not eliminate you, right? They can just leave you with one territory, and then they can go out and like if you're their friend, they can just leave you with one territory off in a corner somewhere, and then they can go eliminate everyone else and then eliminate their friends in the end to manipulate who got second, third, fourth, fifth. It's kind of plus most people surrender, but of course if there was a second place, people wouldn't surrender, which actually I think that's a benefit to having a second place is people not surrendering. But whoever's in the lead can just kind of determine the order of everybody else by what order they eliminate them. So I don't know if it really works well. If there was a reliable way of determining second, third, and fourth place, I would be open to that. I often play games on large maps without a lot of moves. Oh, with a lot of moves. I often have to count the number of moves in order to tell my teammates a specific move. Couldn't you number the moves? Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I think once we have the new features forum that we're talking about here, you should request that. Having a number there is that seems like a reasonable request to me. Can the open games in the lobby be grouped into map type? So the Rise of Rome's games, etc., are nested next to each other. That's another good feature request. You should add that to the feature request forum once we have it. Normally I would tell you to go to the user voice forum, but the user voice forum is going away. Take out Corona, add Duo Lotto. Sold. But they can do that anyways, having that many players. It's not how it works. France versus Austria. What is that? Is that soccer? I don't follow soccer. I don't know what. In my opinion, if you spawn in South America, it is a rookie mistake to go Africa right away. I'm not sure what template you're talking about. Maybe you're talking about Small Earth. Seems reasonable. Can you also link territories that the order is about in the chat until this is implemented? Link the territories that the order is about in the chat. I'm not sure I follow exactly what you're saying. Will the forums ever be upgraded to support something like Markdown? Fun fact, they actually did support Markdown many years ago. And we had a security vulnerability. So it was entirely on me. I implemented Markdown wrong. I thought things were being escaped improperly that they weren't. And somebody actually attacked. They posted a special link. This was many years ago, but they posted a special link that if you clicked on it, it would steal your password. It would basically give your password to the person who posted that link. So yeah, it was a legitimate cross-site scripting vulnerability, and it was related to my poor implementation of Markdown, and at that I immediately fixed it, and the good news is I was able to see everyone who clicked that link and lost their password, so I went in and I changed all of their passwords, so they lost access to their account, but I gave them a way to recover their own account. But the attacker did not get anyone's account for more than maybe a few minutes because I was able to fix it pretty much right away. So luckily, the attacker did not get away with his attack. Thankfully, I happened to be online when he posted it. So I was able to stop that. And I took Markdown down off the forums because I'm sure it could be possible to do Markdown properly. But as an overreaction, I basically said, okay, I'm going to switch to BB code because BB code was very easy to secure. And that's what we use until this very day. Maybe someday we can go back to Markdown, but just a fun story. What are your thoughts on Dual Lotto being in Quick Match? So Quick Match is voted on by the players. So when you go to Quick Match, when you win Quick Match games, you get votes. And when you vote, you can vote. And some people have voted this game, which is Dual Lotto, and it's a lottery game. Basically meaning there's zero skill. You just join it, and then you find out if you win or lose. It's a pretty stupid template, in my opinion, but some people like it. I don't have a problem with it being in quick match because people vote for it. All these fine people, Fish Taco, have voted for Dual Auto in quick match. Would I like to add it Clan Wars? I do not think it is appropriate for Clan Wars. Clan Wars is more of a skill thing. Quick match, people can just uncheck it if they don't want to play it. But in quick match, I don't think it's appropriate for Clan Wars because there's more skill to Clan Wars. It's more competition is what I'm trying to say. You can also link the territories. Oh, I already read that. I missed discussion about multi-template ladder. What was the decision regarding it? You can view the VOD. I'm not sure exactly what you're referring to. You would love Markdown? What is it about Markdown that you guys want? That's the other thing I'd like to know. When you're asking for Markdown, what is it you want to do that you cannot currently do? I would be interested in hearing the answer to that question. How long will you keep the free cache thread running for? Maybe time to shut it down? I have no plans on shutting it down. Why would we need to shut it down? I think it's just a little thing to give people a reason to post on the forum. 7,000 people have enjoyed this thread. Why would we shut it down? It seems prettier and more intuitive. Okay. Have you played Tarbonia's Choice? I have not, no. Sorry. I'm interested in trying it, though. I assume that's a template. Headers, the hyperlinking, everyone is used to it by now. You'd prefer plain HTML with the script tag. Whoever downloaded Dan's question on Duoload, question needs to be asked as a hot topic. Seriously. I suspected as hell no for Clan Wars, but legitimately voted in a quick match. I'm not going to take any action or vote with the proper system. Yep, that's basically correct. Is this a bug and should be reported? Have you rebundled the Unicode symbols in the app? Yeah, so the Unity app has a limited number of Unicode symbols that it can display. And that's really a limitation in Unity, or in a Unity library I use called TextMesh Pro. This library, you basically have to ship every symbol you want to display in the app with the app. So it takes up memory, it takes up space on your device, which is really dumb because your operating system, whether it's Android or iOS or Windows, whatever you're running Unity on, it has all the Unicode symbols already in the operating system, but for some reason, the TextMesh Pro library in Unity cannot access those, and in fact, it requires you to ship every symbol in the app, which actually, when I first developed the Unity app way back in 2017, 2016, whenever it was, I had to actually go through and make a decision for every Unicode symbol that I wanted to be included in the app. And I ended up with tens of thousands of them. A lot of it is the CJK languages, the Korean, Chinese, Japanese, and Korean. Those languages just have tons of symbols, and you have to go. And what I did is I scanned every, at the time it was called Warlight, I scanned every Warlight game that had ever been played. And I looked at all the chat, and I counted up the number of times each character was used. And I made a big list of all the most used characters, and I included all the most used ones. I couldn't include every character just because it took up so much memory. I had to include just like the most used 10,000 or something like that. And so I included all those in the apps, and everything that wasn't used frequently enough got cut. And so that's why, just because it takes up tons of memory, it is a dumb system in my opinion. It's one of the reasons I kind of want to move away from Unity, like long term maybe. Which is part of the reason we now have a new rendering engine. Is maybe someday we'll move away from Unity, and then this problem will be solved. But for now, as long as we're on Unity, this is going to be a problem. Any chance to use another library for the characters? I'm not aware of any other library that does everything we need. So the TextMesh Pro library is necessary if you want to do like underlining and italics and bold and stuff. It's a pretty important library to the system. I'm not aware of any other libraries that would be a suitable replacement. I don't think there are any. There is a chance of like augmenting TextMesh Pro. It is open source. I could like add support for what they call fallback characters. Basically, if the character doesn't exist, then you go get it from the operating system. I know it's another thing other people have asked for. Like, I've actually talked to the creator of the TextMesh Pro library several times because I've had a lot of problems with it. And he knows this is a requirement. We've exchanged many messages about this feature. He doesn't seem to think it's a priority. I do think it's a priority, but nevertheless, he has declined to fix it. My question in the thread about the Unicorn systems was because some symbols were broken only in the most recent update. Oh. No, I was not aware of that. As far as I know, it should not have changed. You should file a bug on that and tell me what symbols were working before and what symbols are not working now. I can look into that. Multi-template ladder is the most important ladder. Why not be listed on the matter page? Just because it's not an official Warzone ladder, it's not the same as the other ladders. Like, it takes you to an external website that I can't really control. It could go down. It has been down at some point in the past, so it's not something that like I can't control the quality of it. You know what I mean? Like, if it goes down and I have it listed as a official feature, people would report it to me as a bug, whereas it's not really the appropriate solution. It should be on the community events page, so it's clear it's a community event. It's not something I can vouch for. Do you have any plans to remedy the currently unfair situation for cap versus unclapped in Clan Wars? Yeah, we'll get there. It's on the agenda. I don't consider it extremely unfair because everybody's limited to 40 players for Clan Wars. But yeah, we'll get there. I have already elaborated on that. So it's, we've gathered top leaders adding new templates to Clan Wars. We're currently discussing which templates to consider. Opinions vary. What are the conditions for accepting a new template in Clan Wars? I think if we do when we do new templates in Clan Wars, we probably will at some point. I don't have it on my immediate list, but I do think at some point we will want new templates in Clan Wars. When we do it, we'll probably do it by vote. Yeah, well, I think the correct solution to all of this is by community vote. This is random, but in team templates when mirrored, it's hard to see if everybody clicked the correct order. So what you can do is you can click on their name in the bottom right corner, and then you can click the teammate orders button. That will allow you to see their exact picks. And this tries to offset them so you can kind of see them, but I realize it's not perfect, especially in the example you've shown here in the screenshot. You can't see the one underneath at all. But that's kind of a nice to have. The problem is some territories use some maps use very small territories. And there's just not enough room to like space out the stars more. There maybe is in this exact example, but we have to try to limit our space so we don't get too much overlapping. That does not solve the complexity of 18 picks across 3 players. I don't know why it doesn't solve that. You can click each player and click view orders, and you should be able to see their orders. +1 on pick visibility for team templates, but for 1v1 as well. When analyzing picks happen, most players match. You have to switch back and forth a lot. Yeah, I don't know of a better solution to that problem right now. Your workaround is snipping tool. Keep it open on another monitor. I think it's a great workaround. I don't know how you would display everyone's picks on one screen easily. Maybe there's a way. This is a good candidate for a feature requests on our new features forum once we have it. Use the modifier tab and you can see different bonuses active. Are there any plans to implement a duration remaining timer for the temporary boosts, like the idle rewards given by your clan members in the ladder? Yeah, that would be a good feature. I agree, that would be good to show you how much time you have left. That is something I could add. So yeah, that's another good thing for the feature requests. So you need to remember their 18 picks and return to yours and do the same again for the other players, not a fix. Yeah. I agree. I think we're on the same page. Have you decided to purge the star showing people are taking their turns after an hour of 16 years? Why have you decided? We talked about that earlier in the stream, so I won't go over it again. Have you ever expected people to complete Isle, as in get a star enough AP to instant super ascend? I do not expect anyone to do that. I would not bet against it happening, but I would not expect it to happen. What would version 6 of Warlight be like? I don't know. Warlight, that game has existed for years. I don't ever see there being a version 6 of Warlight. We're on Warzone. Can you have a method of messaging ourselves in 1v1 games? We could have a record of things like enemy spawns. That need to refer to my book. I wouldn't say the right way of doing that is to have a message yourself. I would say the right way of doing that would be like to have a notebook feature. If we were to fix this problem, I would say the correct solution to this problem is to have like a notebook where you could take notes rather than having a way of messaging yourself, which just seems really weird. Please make some mechanism to allow clans to grow and some mechanism for clans to select their clan war team. Oh, you want to choose like you're talking about the 2v2 strategic 2v2 template. You want to choose who you're teamed up with. Yeah, you could create that as a feature on the request on the features forum once it exists. I don't know how many people are interested in that, but if enough people are interested in it, maybe. I don't know. I'd have to think it through. Is it actually... Would that create a situation where people are unfair? No, you mean which 40 players are the clan wars for that season? Okay, yeah. Well, we'll talk about that when we get to the clan wars section. It's been a while since I've had the Mega Games update, and part of the community wants to play it with mods. Yes, I do want to have mods in Mega Games. That is one of my goals. And I still just haven't prioritized it. Once we have a features forum, I would encourage you to create this on the features forum, and if enough people vote for it, I'll definitely prioritize it. It is something I want to add. It's just a lot of work because part of my responsibility is I have to make sure the game doesn't break. And one of the problems is a lot of mods use a lot of very intense computing as part of their mod calculations. And if a mod takes too long to compute with 40 players, if you put it into a 400 player game, it could very well time out. There is a time limit, and if the mod times out in a 400 player game, that means the game is now broken. And I don't want to see Mega Games get broken. So when I enable mods for Mega Games, which I do hope will happen someday, I need to do it very carefully and make sure the games don't break, because it'd be very disappointing if somebody pays money to create a 400 player game and 400 people join it and then it just breaks because the mod doesn't support that many players. So I need to make sure that doesn't happen. That's my responsibility, and doing that work is the reason that mods don't work in Mega Games right now, is because I haven't done that work yet. But yeah, I do want to do that work. I do want to enable mods in Mega Games. I just haven't done the work yet. Two people have now super ascended enough times to instant ascend. Wow, I'm impressed. There is a mod that allows you to take notes. Yeah, there you go. You can use that mod. What is my favorite sport? I don't really play sports. I do watch some sports. I watch baseball and football. I do not follow soccer, sorry. There's mod. More templates. Out with Strat 1v1. Really? That's I thought that was a popular template. Premium green. Sounds like a good feature request. I have no qualms with offering premium green as a premium feature, as a premium color if enough people want it. That's the kind of thing that wouldn't need a lot of votes. When we have a feature forum, if you create that, it doesn't need like hundreds of votes to get in. If it got even a handful of votes, it would probably be enough. What teams do you follow for baseball and football? I live in Seattle, so I follow Seattle for both. Ultra Mega Ascend. Yeah, how would Ultra Mega Ascend work? Let's see. So you lose all your artifacts. You lose all of your Super Ascend rewards. and you get +1 to the speed that time advances. +1%. Perfect. Ship it. I don't think you could set up a 1v1 as a team game in the chat with your team. Yeah, okay. Is it still just you who is programming? Yep. This is a one-man show. Any plans to hire more people to speed up development? We don't currently make enough money to hire people, unfortunately. How's lawsuit going? We've already talked about that, so I won't go over it again. Has the polling feature you announced several streams back ever been implemented? I did implement a polling feature, yes. So there is a polling feature. It's only usable by me, so I can like send people mail and it will have a poll. This is something that, like I mentioned earlier, this is something I want to do with user voice. I want to be able to like poll all the people that voted for like the Windows Phone client and ask them, are you still interested in this? And have a yes, no. And if they click yes, their votes stay in. If they click no, then their votes are deleted from that feature. That's part of the advantage that we'll have of having a features forum built into the main site. I don't think we ever did a poll for ladder boot times. I can't remember. That was so long ago. I don't think we did it. Will there be some addition to members-only perks? I'm always looking for ideas for member-only perks, but there's nothing I have planned right now. Last figures, things used to be member become available for everyone that thinks members being added. Yeah, so new features are generally going to be member-only when they're new. So like here's a member-only perk. Maybe you get more votes on the feature forum. I think that would be a good member-only perk. But yeah, generally things that are new get added to members first, and then over time they're released to non-members. Like commanders were member-only for a long time, and now they're open to everyone. And mods are like the biggest member feature in my mind. Mods and lack of ads. But honestly, the way to make the game even faster now is an auto-spend AP in Phase 4 feature. And then make it a clicker game like Cookie Clicker, where the cookie clicking is clicking super send. Oh, wow, we have my answers here already. Oh, well, why do I even need to answer things if they're just going to be automatically here? In no split mode, might it be possible to add a button to the attack pop-up window so I can easily cancel an attack? Yeah, I do. I do agree that is would be a very useful feature, because right now you have to like search on the orders panel to try to find it and delete it. No split mode is a mode that's not used very often, so that's the main reason why it's not as user friendly, just because I haven't spent time on it. But yeah, I would definitely add this if enough people voted for it on the new features forum. Might it be possible to have a note section or a self-chat? I think we already talked about that. Let me refresh one last time. In case there's anything new. There are new things. Things are growing. There we go. Good. We finished this forum. All right. No more questions there. Don't post any more questions. Won't return to that. So the only thing we have left on our agenda is Clan Wars. So there's a whole lot of stuff that's been talked about Clan Wars. I know this is a hot button topic. I've been thinking a lot about Clan Wars. And there's a number of areas that I think we can improve upon Clan Wars. So, hold on. I think I have notes. Where are my notes? Didn't I have something prepared? So, we all know one of the problems with Clan Wars is clans are different sizes. Now, this does not directly affect Clan Wars, but it does affect clans' ability outside of Clan Wars. So, like, oh yeah, this looks really fuzzy now when I look at this page. You guys were talking about the fuzzy 3D maps earlier. When there's no army numbers on this one, maybe it's just this map. Like when you zoom in, it's crisp. When you zoom out, it definitely looks fuzzy. Like these lines. It's not the army numbers, it's the lines. But Clan Wars. So some clans are limited to 40 players. Those are the new, cheaper ones. They paid less money for them. And then the older clans have no cap, because back in the day there was no cap. I've mentioned before that I feel it's better to have lots of clans rather than back when clans had no cap. There were like just a few like super mega clans and then hardly any more. So I feel like this has been a good improvement because now we have lots of clans. We can see there's a big list of clans participating in Clan Wars. But some people feel like there's an imbalance because they want to have people in reserve, I guess is the reason. They want to have people on their clan roster that are not playing Clan Wars. The other problem with Clan Wars is if you have a large clan, like let's say, let's open up some of these clans. How many people are in Mythbusters? Oh, well, they're a 40 member. So, I mean, I think this is proof right here that you don't need to have a large clan to be successful at Clan Wars. The number one clan only has 40 players. But if we look at Harmony, they have 402 members. To me, this is a problem, though, because this says that 392 people in Harmony are basically not allowed to play Clan Wars. To me, that's a problem, because Clan Wars is designed to be for everyone. I really would like to design a system where everyone can play Clan Wars. I think that would be a solid improvement. And I think people on these clans, certainly, there's probably people in Harmony that want to play Clan Wars that are currently cannot because it's limited to only 40 people. Oh, just to back up, backstory for people that don't. I always forget to do this. But for people that don't know, Clan Wars is limited to 40 people per clan. Now, most clans are limited to 40 people, so it's not a problem. Like we looked before at Mythbusters, who has only 40 people. Great. They can all play Clan Wars. That's no problem there. But for these super mega clans that have 400 people, you have the vast majority of people are not able to play Clan Wars. So I would, some of those, if they're all to snap player farming, yeah, it's true not everyone cares about Clan Wars. Certainly not everyone has to play Clan Wars, but the people that do want to play Clan Wars will want to have the option for them. What else do we have? Let's see, we have Prime. 150 members. That's 110 people that are not allowed to play Clan Wars. So I'm thinking about designing a system for Clan Wars where everyone can play, but then the strength of your wins is reduced based on the number of people in your clan. So if you have 80 people in your clan, then each win would basically count for half as much as a clan who has 40 people in their clan. So basically, if you're in that situation, if your clan only has 40 people, then it would basically be no change. And it would be 40 max. So if you have less than 40 people, it would be as if you have 40 people. And we might even reduce this number. Maybe the number is 25 or something like that. Because even if you have 40 people, I think it's a little much to expect 40 people to play every day. That's the other problem with Clan Wars, is even clans that have 40 people, it's kind of too much to expect all 40 people to play a game every day if you want to be competitive. Of course, a lot of people play Clan Wars and don't expect to be competitive. They're just in here for fun. Like that's the situation for my clan, us. I don't expect everyone to play every day. We're just kind of in here for the territory rewards. But if you are a 40-person clan, it's a little much. If you are going for the top reward, it's a little much to expect everyone to play, 40 players to play every day. Let's say you only require 25 people to play every day, and you have 40 members, but all 40 people can play. I think that would be a better system, because then you could have 15 people that sit out every day and don't have to play, and yet your clan has there's no harm to your clan. Like you don't lose anything. I think that would be a more fair system, and it would allow people to have more flexibility. It would allow them to It would allow them to have people sit out. We get almost 40 every day. So currently the system is designed to reward people that get 40 every day. So that's, of course, what clans are optimized for. If we did any changes like this, we'd give plenty of warning, so people would have time to adopt the new system. But I do think it would be better if we put the target number at like 25. I think that would be better for everyone. This would just result in clans having to kick everyone that doesn't play Clan Wars. So if you are a clan that is going for the top spot, like you are a competitive player, then I would say that the position you get in Clan Wars should be relative to how good your user base is at playing Clan Wars. Not just 40 random people on your clan, but rather it should be the entire base of your clan. And it certainly wouldn't have to be everyone. You'll get some people in reserve. There will always be some people that don't want to play Clan Wars, and that's fine. And that's true of 40-player clans as well. I think there should be a reserve where you have some number of people that don't have to play and it doesn't hurt you. But if you have the case where this is insane is when you have 400 people and 362 of them are not able to play Clan Wars. To me, that's a problem. Prime has a problem getting 4 people play. We don't have 106 people that want to play. Exactly. So that is this. I think this would improve that because people would be able. You'd have a reserve list of people that don't have to play every day. And the nice thing is the reserve list can be different people every day. It would destroy everything that's been built. Well, I would give plenty of advance warning. Help, I cannot surrender. Did you try clicking the surrender button? There's no issue of people wanting to play Clan Wars, but they can't. I don't think that's true. That's not true at all. I've heard directly from people that have been told by their clan they're not allowed to play Clan Wars. Anyway, this is all kind of pie in the sky brainstorming session at this point. Maybe let everybody play and take into account only the top 520. The problem with that is then you're rewarding large clans significantly. Because if somebody has 400 people playing and you're only looking at the top 25 players, that would not be fair to the people who only have 40 people playing and you're only looking at the top 25 of those 40. I think the better solution is to let everybody play and then design a system that prorates it based on the size of the clan. That way it's fair for everyone, regardless of your clan size. There's nobody in Harmony that wants to play Clan Wars that cannot do so? I doubt that's true. I would be very surprised. But even if it's true for Harmony, it's definitely true for most big clans that there are people in those clans that want to play Clan Wars but cannot. And they're being discouraged from it. Anyone can remain in Harmony and play Clan Wars elsewhere as they wish? No, they cannot. By definition, if you are in Harmony, you can only play Clan Wars for Harmony. So we have to kick people for not playing Clan Wars? I mean, no, you don't have to. But if you want to be competitive, so this is specifically what I'm saying is there's going to be reserve seats. So there's seats for people that don't want to play Clan Wars and every clan. So every clan will be able to have people in it that do not play Clan Wars. And it's fair for everyone. Wild idea, but given how just easy, I never want to encourage people to make alts. That's never something I would do. Alts should never be necessary. In fact, I would like to design the system such that you are discouraged from making alts, and everyone is encouraged to have only one account. If you see that this issue exists, then big clans would not have so many people in them. That is part of the goal, yeah. It's better to have many smaller clans than super giant clans. Would it be possible to give the turn bar, when consulting history, the option of typing the exact turn? Oh, like typing. I see, you want to type the turn. Yeah, that's a good idea. I'd be open to that. Once we have the new feature forum online, I would suggest creating that as a feature. Clans are not just for clan wars. Clans are about being with your friends. Imagine if the government decided about the close friends that you could have. That's how we feel right now. Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. Not every clan cares about clan wars, and that's totally fine. Like, you don't have to compete for the top spawn on clan wars. You have no obligation to do that. But some clans do care about clan wars, and those clans are going to optimize themselves for clan wars, like Mythbusters and Harmony and Prime have. And I realize it's very disruptive anytime you change the way the system works, because these clans have spent a lot of time and energy optimizing themselves for the way the clan war system works. So if we made any changes, we'd give plenty of advance notice. And I realize some people are going to be upset that they spent a bunch of time optimizing for one system and then the system changes. But the alternative is we never change the system. We just live with what we have forever, which I don't think that's a good solution either. So at some point, people are going to have to adapt, or we're going to have to just live with what we have forever. Like, those are the only two options. So I feel like that's an answer to what you just asked. Skip the city building phase during replay. What? I think these are different threads of discussion. I don't know what this is a response to. People want to play what can't doesn't exist. That's not true. It definitely does. I've definitely heard from people that want to play clan wars, but they've been specifically told by their clans that they are not allowed to. Can't we have a system where optimizing yourself clan wars and having a good community is not much exclusive? Yes, that's exactly what I'm proposing. So there's going to be seats. There's going to be room for people every day. There's going to be reserved seats, I've been calling it, where people don't have to play clan wars and it won't hurt your rating. So let's say your clan size is 40. Basically, you'll have 15 reserved seats, and you only have 25 people that have to play every day to maximize your rating. So you have 15 reserved seats that don't have to play. And the cool thing about that is they can be different people every day. Are you going to improve the no game situation? Yeah, that is something I would like to improve. But it's a difficult situation. It's impossible to fix completely, because if you have a time slot where, like, say, 7 people sign up for a 1v1 game, well, by definition, you can't have an odd number of people. You can't make a game for everyone, right? You can make 3 1v1s, and then one person's not going to get a game. So there are ways to minimize the number of times that happens, but it's not possible to fix completely. Sometimes there will be no game. And those people should get free wins as long as they're the only person in their clan on that template. Doesn't work because it loads each turn in between. Yeah, in very, very large games, it can take a long time to load each turn when going through history. Maybe they're not allowed to play because they're awful players. Maybe, but then that should be reflected in their clan war rating, right? If your clan wars consists of 90% awful players, do you really deserve the top spot? To me, that's a fix. If your clan has a whole bunch of awful players in it, you should not be on the top spot. Like, that's right there. That's you just convinced me that this is or not convinced me. You just provided evidence that this is a better algorithm. With 100 turns or even just 40 turns, it becomes a mess. My current longest game was 2,463 turns. Holy crap, that's a long game. Yeah. In games that long, I can see why you want to type the turn number. That would be a solid improvement. Once we have the new features form online, I suggest you suggest it. Could you give out like 5 battle points if Warzone idle battle doesn't start to reward those who tried? Oh yeah, that's a decent idea. I like that idea. Maybe not 5. I can't remember. How much is it? It's like 40 for first place or something like that. I can't remember the battle point system. I don't know if 5 is the right number, but giving out some small amount of reward for people who tried. That's a decent idea because it helps people who are there and show up to play. I like that idea a lot. You should, once we have the features form, you should suggest that. I love the idea of reserved seats. I hate the idea that 300 people farming would have to sign up to Clan Wars to get a game every day. Yeah, I'm sure Harmony doesn't like that idea too. As of now, only small clans kick people who don't play Clan Wars. They're saying big clans will kick people who don't play Clan Wars. You basically force all competitive clans to kick people who don't play. Is that what you want? Yes, I think that would be a solid improvement. Not all. The word all, definitely no. I would say no. Or sorry. But you will have reserved seats. You don't have to kick everyone that doesn't play Clan Wars. But if you have a large swath of people not playing Clan Wars, then I think not kicking them, I think you should encourage them to play Clan Wars is the solution. If they're inactive, if you have like hundreds of inactive people, yeah, I mean, just kick them. Like, let's look at Harmony. Let's see. How many of these people are active? We can like open people new tabs now, right? Oh no, it doesn't work. Crap. Crap. Let's take a random sample. Oh, because it does that pop-up, that's why. Okay, active. Let's just pick a random sample of people. Active. 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 Okay, so it looks like most people in Harmony are active. That's good. You want clans to optimize your clan with kick and active players. Players who are nice people but don't have time to play Clan Wars are bad people. So I do think they should kick in active players, yes. If they just haven't played in like a year, then there's no reason for them to be in your clan. Players who are nice people don't have time to play Clan Wars. There will be reserved space for those people. If they're bad players, even bad players contribute to Clan Wars. Like, even losing in Clan Wars still helps your clan. Some large clans kicked people in the past because the wrong 40 people would join Clan Wars. Don't know, that's still a problem. So that problem would be fixed because everyone would be able to play Clan Wars in this proposed solution. I think we're all just struggling to get 40 players these days. Yeah, this also would be improved because you would only need to get 25. if the problem is the guys can't play, then why not make a second squad for clans? First 40 joiners, the first squad, second squad. That's a possible solution too. Yeah, that's good. I'm glad Harmony is active. Maybe not all of them want to play Clan Wars, though. Yes. So there will be reserved spots for people that don't want to play. But if you have like hundreds and hundreds of people in your clan that don't want to play, you should encourage them to play. Say there's a clan with 50 diplomacy players, 50 people who like multi-day tournaments, 25 people who like real-time. Only 25 real-time people want to play Clan Wars. Will those 25 people have results? Yes. They may not be able to get number one, but they will still get good results. Like, I get good results even though there's only like 3 people in my clan playing. Certainly not going to win the season. As of now, there are more than 25 active people in Prime and Harmony who don't want to play Clan Wars. Do you want us to kick them? No. I do not want you to kick them. Anyway, this is just an idea. This is not set in stone or anything. This is just something to think about. I do want to design a system where everyone is allowed to play Clan Wars. I think it's really dumb that people are limited. I also think it's really dumb that clans' rankings aren't a representative sample of the overall clan skill. Certainly you don't need everyone to play, but I do think more people, if a clan has 400 people, you should have more than 40 people. More than 10% of the clan should be represented in Clan Wars. Fix the no game issue so there's only one no game per template. That's not always possible because you could have a bunch of people on the same clan join a template, and in that case they can't be matched up against themselves. If a clan cap stays, this is a great reason to quit the game. I mean, almost every game I've ever played has a clan cap. I'm not aware of any game in existence that has unlimited clans. Like, Clash of Clans has way more players than us, and they're limited to 40 players as well. What other game has clans? Clan Wars does not represent skill but activity? I don't think that's true. I think Mythbuster players are very good at the game. Do you think Mythbusters is at number 1 just because they're more active than Harmony? Is that what your opinion is? I don't think that's a true statement. I think if you go and look at all of Mythbusters' games, you will find that they are play it with a better skill than Harmony. They're not just more active. Why your game lag hard when click big number? Are you talking about, I don't know what you're talking about, number. Are you talking about like bonus links? So when you click on a bonus, it tries to highlight all the territories in the bonus. That might be what you're talking about. I'm just speculating here. And if you click a very, very large bonus on a very, very large map, it has to like highlight all the territories. That's one case I know of where the game can lag. Difference in Warzone is not all clans are equal in terms of number of players can have. Yeah. So that's why I'm trying to design a system that's fair for both of them. And I think this would actually go a long way towards making it more fair. Mythbusters is a special case due to the alts. If you plot wins versus game 2-9 spot, you will see a pattern. If that's true, that tells me then clans are struggling to get 40 players to play every day. So the way I view it is, if you're getting 40 players to play every day, then Clan Wars is entirely a skill competition. If you're getting less than that, then you're at a disadvantage, because it's like if you're a Major League Baseball player and you only have 7 players on your team, you're going to lose due to if you're playing against a player that has a team that has 8 players on their team. If you can't field a full team, you're obviously going to be at a very large disadvantage. That's true of most sports. If you're playing soccer, American soccer, what do they call it? National football. If you're playing football and your team has fewer players on the field than the other team, then yes, you're going to be at a huge disadvantage. But once you have 2 soccer teams with the same number of players, then it's a game of skill. And if I know it's hard to get 40 people to play every day, and that's part of what I'm trying to fix, is I think you should have reserved seats where, you know, if you only need 25 people to play every day, but you have 40 people in your clan, and a different 15 can sit out every day. I think that would be I think that would elevate it to be a much more skilled system, rather than needing all 40 to play every day. Is it possible to hide the member icon? It is not possible to hide your member icon. Sorry. Mythbusters is always number 1 because it's a collection of alts of the best players. There you go. It is a skill competition. They're the best players. You did not say Mythbusters is number 1 because it has more players, or because it plays every day. That is an agreement with what I'm saying. Almost every game ever has limited clan/queue. Very few have high limits, so they may as well be uncapped or actually uncapped. Especially if you have... Very few have high limits, so high as they may well be capped or essentially uncapped. Especially if you have system activities that are intended to have a clan guild groups participate together for rewards. That's exactly what I'm saying. So currently Clan TLA has 150 minutes, 120 of them are active. And only 34 people are in the Clan Wars. With a change, they would be incentivized to kick how many people? 50, 80? I think they would be incentivized to have everyone... I think they would be incentivized to kick their inactive people. And then have everyone else play Clan Wars. That's what I would like to see. Not everyone else, but everyone else minus the reserve. I think would be the ideal situation. Clans are definitely struggling to get 40 players to play every day. Yes, and that is something I think we'd like to improve by having reserved seats. The way matchmaking works is that clans level out to 50% win rate. Sure, I think that's fair. I don't know if that's a true statement, but I think that is a fair statement. I think that is a fine implement. I think if the implementation is working perfectly, that's what would happen. Because as you level up, as your win rate goes up, as your rating goes up, you will get matched against other people that have higher ratings. And this is why it's beneficial to have people participate, even if they're not going to win, because they lower your rating and you'll let everyone else get easier matches. That is by design. I have 40 active players and I have to kick players because sometimes I have 30,000 month activity, or because they go on 3 months absence and then they come back but not a spot. So yeah, having a reserve system would directly help this situation, because you can have people sit on the reserve who are gone for 3 months and then they come back. Bring back asterisks instead of the hourglass. Why? Make the asterisk a legacy option. Can there be secret days where Clan Wars is different? For example, it becomes a huge clan FFA or something. I like the idea of having an FFA in Clan Wars, but I'm not sure most people want it. There are some FFA players out there that might like it, but it'd be more fun if Clan Wars isn't just 1v1 or 2v2. The problem with FFA is it's so open to collusion, but still, I'm open to having it if people want it. Okay, I think we're running in circles. Right block. Let me do those examples. Yeah, I think I'm going to be ending the stream here pretty soon. Probably once we catch up in chat. I think this is the end of the stream. Is this session only regards to Clan Wars issue? No, we had a whole agenda. This is just the last thing on the agenda. So we're mostly done. My mother says I don't like change. What if you made a 40-player Clan Wars and a very large reserve? We could scrap Clan Wars altogether and possibly do something like a War of Clans. How about a compromise? Cap not reserved seats and have, at most, for example, 50 people required to play Clan Wars daily, even if your clan has 1,000 people. Something like that could work. Make rating other players available so other people can see the concentrated about react time, cooperation rating, strategy rater, Punisher time per month, per week or more. Yeah, it's an interesting idea. It's been proposed before. So first off, react time you can already see on their profile. So that one's done. Like you can see how fast they play, how long it takes them to take their turn. That's a good one to have on this. That's a good one to show because it's objective. It's not subjective. All these other ones are very subjective. Like how well do they cooperate? I'm not sure if it would work in practice because people would leave bad ratings because of nonsensical reasons. Like they'd be like, "Oh, I didn't like you. I'm gonna give you all bad ratings." I don't know how well it would work, but in theory, it could work. In theory, it's possible. Let me put it that way. Black is already a very unique member icon. Doesn't make you much more unique. I think it comes in terms of what this does to your specific clan. I think it's good for the community or not. I'm not decided, but it's not really relevant whether clan XYZ is negatively impacted by it. The reserve seat sounds like a good idea. Last question, could we organize the Clan League as an official thing that the game includes it? Clan League is currently not run by me. It's run by members of the community. So it's a community event. I don't think you'd want me to run it. I don't think I could. Let me put it this way. I don't think I could do as good of a job as running it as the current people who are running it. I'd still be in Mythbusters if I could be placed on Clan War Reserve. I wanted a break, so I had to leave. Why spawn so weird when random? Lol. Random means random. It literally randomizes it. Me and Lizzie always spawn next to each other. That's the thing about random numbers. You will notice patterns. Okay. Before we end the stream, I'll enter the question. Can something be done about people that stall and play every game in every tournament to elimination? Add them to a global block list. Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know what the best solution to that is. I mean, in extreme cases where people literally play to their last territory, in like a multi-day tournament, we could write an algorithm that basically determines if it's game is overwhelmingly over, we just forcibly end them. We just forcibly eliminate them. You'd want to be really careful with that algorithm to make sure you don't do it in a game that still has some chance of coming back. But if it's 100 income to 5 income, it's clearly over. Maybe, and you might have to do it template by template as well, because there might be some template. I'm sure somebody could design a template somewhere where somebody's 100 income to 1 income, and the 1 income person wins. But on a normal template like Small Earth, that's never going to happen. Objective player rating, show how many people block a user. This is a bad idea. It is a bad idea. I agree. Why does Wessel always have good spawns with me and Lily bad spawns? Yeah, well, are you sure you're not talking about a manual distribution game where you're picking? Thanks for the stream. Time for me to go to bed. Working tomorrow. Yeah, we're going to be ending it here soon. Once we cut up, please stop sending chat with random crap like this. Thanks, Fizzer. Be well. All right, good. We have caught up. Thanks everyone so much for participating in the stream. What did we do? 3 hours today. It's a pretty good stream. We should be able to get more streams in more often, starting once the new. We start to have more updates more often, too. So thanks everyone so much for watching. I hope to see you at the next one, and I hope you all have a good night. Later.